The Magic Podcast, hosted by Lloyd Barnes, Craig Petty, and Peter Turner's sex toy, Pig Cake. This is your all-access behind-the-scenes news inside the current happenings of the magic industry, where Craig and Lloyd will thrust themselves inside your ears while Pig Cake squeals in the cuck chair. Every Wednesday, they'll rant, dissect, and give you their raw and unfiltered views on the art of magic. This is your final warning. There will be bad language, cuss words, fuck bombs, and multiple references to Ted Carmilovich being a nonce. So if you can handle it, lock your doors, take out your deck, spread it nice and wide, and brace yourselves for The Magic Podcast.
Welcome back. It's that time of the week again where you kick back, grab your deck, and you get ready because I am here with the legend himself, Mr. Lloyd Barnes, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, the badass motherfucker himself, the Welsh Wonder Wizard, Mr. Lloyd Barnes. And I'm here with Pig Cake. How you guys doing?
Oh, great. Craig, thank you for that.
No, I like to give you guys both a big build-up. You know? I try to think of everything nice that I can say about people.
All the accolades.
Throw it into, everything they've done, everything they've achieved, and then introduce them properly.
What a sucker punch. You like it? You like it? I tie everything in with a nice little bow.
I like what you did there. Have you had a good week over in Miami? Has it been a good week?
No, because of the fucking World Cup, we've had nonstop your people. Actually, we've had your people. We've had the Scots. We've had every country imaginable just make their way through Miami and make my experience as an actual resident just absolutely disastrous for a gutter trash sport. I'm saying it here. All right.
It is the worst.
I'm calling it soccer. Thank you. Soccer. I'm calling it soccer.
Well,
soccer.
I guess the people of Miami aren't used to that thing called tourism.
80%.
Why would you go to Miami when a couple of miles north you've got Disneyland?
We spread it. All right. We spread it usually throughout the year. We don't have it bombarded in one time, which is what I'm experiencing.
Do you hate people from other countries coming to Miami?
You should just cut the part that says from coming into Miami. And just you hate people from other countries. Yeah.
Because are you forgetting that you are a person from another country?
Listen, dude. All right. Regardless of what my mom and my dad were when they stunk their dinkies in each other, fuck. All right. I was born in the good old US of A. All right. Your boy is 100% Americano. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at the flag.
Yeah.
Look at the fucking flag. I can't even see myself, by the way, but I could imagine that there's a flag there. Ignore this one. Ignore that one. If you could see it in the background, that fucking Colombian shit. This is the flag that matters. But boys, it's the best part of my week talking to you guys about what's going on in the industry of virginity and looking at your fucking, I guess, compromise of faces.
What has been happening in the industry? I'll tell you about my week. This probably makes me sound so sad, but like, I finished the trailer for Sucker Punch Revolutions yesterday, and I feel like it's Christmas because it was plaguing my brain. Normally, it takes me a day or 2 days to make a trailer, start to finish, done. But because I didn't shoot the trailer and all the footage aside from like 1 or 2 clips or like a handful of clips, all the footage was given to me. I don't know if anyone has ever done. Well, have you edited other people's footage before, Pig Cake, or do you primarily edit your own?
Yeah, I've done a lot of like trailers for other people. It's a fucking mess to do.
It's a completely different ball game. And I imagine if anyone's ever written like a book or a paragraph or two and then needed to change stuff, they know exactly where to go. But if you took someone's book and they were like, right, just rewire all this, like reword all this, you may as well start from scratch. So all the footage was given to me by Murphy's to edit, and every time I've ever done that, it's just so fucking hard. Anyway, and then we had the heat wave last week, and my Mac, because I had the studio, but this was like a little fucking hot box. My Mac was just dying. Plus, I've been like constantly working every day, 12 hours since January, so I just took last week off. But it was on the back of my mind that like so many people want to get it, so many people want it, and plus just I had to fucking do it. And I finished it. I came back with like just 4 tiny changes. One of them was like put a title in a different place and just swap out a clip. And oh my god, as somebody who loves editing and does editing as a big part of my day-to-day life, I feel like I've had a piano lifted off my fucking
But
back.
I think it's some of your best work. Like I've watched that trailer 100 times now. It is incredible. Like
Oh,
it's a
thanks.
piece of art and it's layered. There's so many really good things about it. Outside of your normal video dem and outside of what you want that video dem to achieve, you know, right at the very beginning, I said this to you, the shout out to Mark Southworth, you know, respecting the shoulders in which this set is
Don't
built.
spoil the trailer.
I'm not okay. I won't say anything. I just think it was very respectful, and I think it was incredible. I think that what you've done it's a work of art. It is genuinely a work of art. It's fucking incredible.
I've heard, thank you. I wouldn't go that far, but I think it correctly tells you what you're getting. Plus, there's a few extra bits inside there when you get in stuff. By the way, if anyone wants to see the first snippets of it, which will be going online in the next few days, I assume, go to fourthfloor.tv.
People are gonna when is this going to
FOURTH
be available on the 4th floor?
Well, I know they've wanted to put it out since I think at least a fortnight ago, on the 14th, I think, or the 10th, maybe a bit more than that. So I think the 10th of June was when they wanted it. They wanted the trailer in with the idea to launch quickly from there. I had to. Well, they wanted a different project out. They wanted I always feel weird saying it. They wanted the gaff deck out. The gaff deck trailer, sorry, delivered on the 10th of June. But for reasons I can't disclose, that was like I wrote them, was like, there's no way you're getting the gaff deck on the 10th of June. This is out because I also did the Credit Crunch trailer for them as well, like a thing. So like there's no way you're getting the gaff deck. Even if I had like even if I smashed it in 2 days, the time like I was like, this is hilarious. I was like, the best I can do is Sucker Punch Revolutions trailer. But it won't be the 10th of June either because it's a big fucking project. You know, it's something like a Credit Crunch or a Void trailer. Void's a bit bigger, but a Credit Crunch trailer is like a 24-hour turnaround, no problem. But I was like, you're joking if you think you're getting that on the 10th of June. And like, and also, why do you want to release around then if you haven't like really made a big song and dance about it? Because, you know, 10 years in the making, the follow-on to Mark Southworth's incredible Sucker Punch deserves some fanfare, some excitement. So, and then the heat wave came in. Plus, it wasn't much footage, so a few mitigating circumstances. But I think it's gonna be worth the wait.
It is going to be worth the wait. I really
Is
do.
it announced? What's in it?
I mean, no, it's not been announced, but you have got Austin Murphy and his new Instagram account, which we need to fucking talk about because what the fuck is going on there? But you've got Austin Murphy and his new Instagram account where he's making his funny little videos, and about 3 or 4 of them involve Sucker Punch Revolutions.
I love the videos. I love that he's posting and he's active in the community. But some products should probably be held on to a little bit if you want to like use that power. You know, at the end of the day, Murphys are a business.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised that he's like set himself up an Instagram account and he started posting on there. I think it's a very smart thing to do because I actually like him more now having watched his Instagram content than I did before. I'm not saying I didn't like him, didn't really know him. However,
So, yeah, most people didn't know him.
Yeah, having now seen his Instagram account, I'm actually liking the stuff that he's putting out, and he's putting stories going, you name a product and I'm going to do a funny video about it. And I don't know how much of this is him and how much of this is his marketing department saying, come on, Austin. I don't know, but it's a smart move.
Well, Austin's cool. Austin, like, if Austin lived around us, like, or he's someone, there's some people at some companies you just don't, or in general, like, that you just wouldn't have in like your social circle. Austin's like that. He's a good laugh. He can take a joke. He can dish a joke. He likes to party when it's the right time, like in Blackpool and things. He's just completely down to fucking earth. However, he has not been an active part of the Magic community, and I don't think he knows. Obviously, he doesn't know Magic from the artistic side like we do. He knows it from the business side because of the company that his father grew. So, so I think he's connected in the way that, like, firstly, it just not shows off. He's connecting from his personal point, which is he's just sound and he's chill to hang out with. And I think probably then a little bit of his like, he's also got he's really tight with Bo, and Bo fucking knows magic. Bo is a magician,
Yeah.
a consultant, and everything. So he's probably getting like some tips, and just like most of us do on our foray sort of into magic. You just have magic pals and you bounce ideas off each other for what to do, what to put out and things. I think it's good though. I think it's really, really good that the biggest magic company in the world, the head of that company, the owner of the company is wanting to be active in the industry. And I don't obviously there's some business decision in it, but I also think from what I know about Austin is that he really just wants to be part of, like, he wants to be in it. I don't think he's doing it purely from a financial standpoint. I actually do think he's like, right, if I'm gonna, he wants Murphy's to like, for example, with all like I won't say what, but some things that have happened behind the scenes with certain people, with products that might need to be taken off the shelves or not taken off the shelves and certain stuff. There are certain decisions that wouldn't have been made before that would have been a positive, that there have been decisions before that were made that negatively affected the industry. He doesn't want to do that, and he's actively making changes and just big impacting decisions behind the scenes because he wants to just like be like, you know what, if we are the biggest, we better start doing things right. So I just think he's it's just good. It's really good.
Yeah, he's
That vein. Sorry.
go on, sorry.
No. I was gonna say in that vein, I would love to see an Instagram by Brad Christian, like a Brad Instagram where he's just there, fucking showing off his fucking guns, shooting grapes from a vineyard, fucking just dude, just going in there, just what a boomer would be. It'd be really bad quality pictures of like food, Instagram from like 10 years ago where it has that like sepia hue. He'll still have that in 2026.
Filter.
Yeah, fucking drop that because to him it's brand new. So he's like, oh, let me just fucking put on my glasses. It'd be difficult to post though without fucking Wi-Fi and Bluetooth that he doesn't like. But I mean, it'd still be an interesting endeavor. So I'd love Illusionist to do that in the exact same way that Austin's doing it, but just having fucking Brady do it. But sorry to interrupt you, Craig. I know that's
No. I would love to see that as well. I mean, unfortunately, these days in 2026, it'd just be if you're if the lights have just gone out on PK. If
he hasn't charged up his little torch that he uses.
I didn't pay the fucking bill. That's what it was.
It's just plunged into darkness. It's just funny. Unfortunately, in 2026, I think if Brad Christian was going to make a Instagram account, it'd just be him sitting in a rocking chair with a bottle of whiskey going, where did it all go wrong? Just looking at photo albums of like 1990s and 2000s, like slowly running his fingers down the pages, looking at Eric Jones and people like that, go, why did they all leave me? What have I been left with? That is probably what.
Oh my God. I unplugged the wrong thing. And I had a point to make too. Fuck.
My God.
Oh,
what are you doing? This is what happens. In general. Just in general. Yeah, it'd be good. It'd be good to see Ajar from Penguin getting more. I know he does like sporadic releases of like packet trips with zombies and stuff. But he's such an intriguing
you're dropping
character.
the biggest secret in Magic there. Be careful. You're dropping the biggest secret in Magic. People don't know who Ajar's nom de plume is when he releases Magic.
Right. I learned it from the Magic Cafe. So either they're wrong or is that like a joke? Like,
no, seriously, I've never heard anyone say that before. Pickgate, do you know what Ajar's name is when he releases Magic?
Rhino? Yeah.
Everyone knows.
Yeah. I guess from just those old products of like Brain Scan and all those stuff.
Yeah. We've even spoken about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
People know Ajar is Elvo Stockman?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, dude.
Fuck, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah. Right, okay.
Well,
you
I
Had
think
some
they,
great releases.
yeah.
That's
I
great
just
releases.
what the fuck? Hold up. There was one more point about
I
Bragg.
was meant to.
that I
Oh,
was
you're on
gonna
a Brad
say.
Christian on Instagram.
Yeah, no,
Um,
That yeah, because I love Brad Christian. Oh, do you? Okay. Here's some lore that I think maybe Craig or not. Sorry, Lloyd, you could answer. When obviously, every single fucking website has the little about page where they get to self-fellatio themselves, right? And be like, on yours, Lloyd Barnes has been creating magic for fucking whatever, right? On Illusionist,
how is that self-fellatio to say how long I've been doing it?
you're just there fucking doing a, you know. But on Illusionist is one from forever ago. They said that he was in an episode of Days of Our Lives as like a card sharp gambler. Days of Our Lives is like a very popular soap opera here in the United States.
know it.
Still, I think I don't know if it's still running. But it's one of those things that's like on. It says that he was a character. I looked 4 years for that Brad Christian episode, and I could not find it for fucking years. And they even mention his name, his character name, what the what it was, because he says, oh, it was a card sharp from the show. I couldn't fucking find it, so I've been looking for that forever, and I've never been able to see it. His episode on Days of Our Lives, which is to me a holy grail. So if you somehow come across this, please send it.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I know he was in a Coca-Cola commercial for sure, though.
Really?
Yeah, because it was a big it was a big guiding factor for all the trailer work that he oversaw at Illusionist, which was and I think it's a good approach. He would shoot the same so he was really methodical and very, very intricate. So he would have you shoot the same, say you were doing a color change and you were waving your hand over the deck. He would have it be shot like up to like 100 times to get the perfect shot to make sure it was like fucking money. And he would do that for almost every single shot in a trailer. Which I've never, like, the attention to detail. I mean, he said he learned that from being on the Coca-Cola advert set. Like, it was like a 10-second advert for TV. They spent like days shooting it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And he said, yeah, he used to talk about, and I thought it was quite good because, yeah, I learned that from him. But like reshooting stuff over and over until you get the right shot, like perfect shot. So I know he was involved in some way in TV work. I wouldn't be surprised if he was on there. Scene might have been cut, but there was a period of time when they were like, well, he was, but it was his company. But you mentioned if someone was like looking for something to do with TV or film, the first thing that would pop up used to be Illusionist.
Fuck, dude.
Because like they used like Suicide Squad used e-playing cards. They reached out to them like the year before. There was a couple of other movies and stuff that used e-playing cards and things. They used to be before, like I don't know if they've closed down now or something, but they should be close to it. But they used to be the big ones.
Remember all those, every single iteration of every playing card, like Edgy. Oh, the Ghost Arcane deck, the fucking reversed Black Tiger. Fucking dude, that got me, man. I wanted one badly, like a fucking
Optical
Black
Cowgirl.
Tiger. Yeah, what?
I don't know. It made that up. It sounds like something they would release though.
I didn't even doubt it. I'm like, what? How did I not fucking get that Optical Cowgirl?
The neon rubber fist with ultra smooth grip deck.
Fucking bracelet hamper. Fucking playing cards.
Stop puppets.
And they all had gaff decks. All these very specialized decks had like fucking gaff decks, which is the funniest thing. Because back then, it was pretty much red bicycles and fuck you. That's it. Now it's like, oh, I got my edgy fucking edgelord playing cards. I think Madison is a big part of that.
Well, yeah, I mean, Illusionists were a big part of making Magic as popular as it was. You know, they were huge. Everybody wanted to be an illusionist, and you know, it's just a shame now that what they've become. You know, I was listening to my favorite Magic podcast, the Slightly Twisted podcast, hosted by the Slight Co and Luke from Twisted Minds. Fucking great podcast, by the way, Pig Cake, if you haven't heard it. And on the latest episode, they were talking about Illusionists' marketing materials, and they were talking specifically about their emails. And Luke was like, I was the biggest Illusionist fan on the planet, and I'd buy everything, and their emails were amazing. And he was pointing out like an email that they dropped of a new product. I've actually got it here. It's really funny. Like, it's literally, there's no pictures, there's no nothing, there's nothing. It's just like, we only release new magic when it's good, so we've been quiet until now. This is just dropped. And then one sentence about what it is. Think of a celebrity, show a real photo on your phone, zoom out into the face they're thinking of. It's self-working. Here's the trailer. Click. That's it. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know.
To be fair, I was shown that independently over the weekend. I went to a little barbecue with a couple of fucking magicians. Could you imagine? This is my life now. Fuck's sake. And he showed me that, and I was like, what the fuck? And then that was through Illusionist. I didn't know that, because that seems like a
Well, no, it's not an illusion. Are you talking about the actual trick? Because the trick is something I wanted to talk about today.
mosaic.
Mosaic by the French twins.
Okay.
I didn't get this from Illusionist. You can get it directly from the App Store. It's by the French twins, but I think Illusionist are promoting it like they do a lot of the French twin stuff. But I picked it up on the way to a gig last Saturday. And I literally learnt it in the van on the way over there. And I did it about 25 times at this gig, and I had people screaming, I had people running away. It's a really smart idea. I love the revelation. It's something quite different. I wanted to bring this up on the podcast purely because I wanted to know Lloyd's opinion, because Lloyd's opinion with apps, and I very much respect his opinion, is that generally as a rule, you know, you look at stuff like Maxim and Cognito and all the apps that Lloyd's done, the phone doesn't look like it's a part of the revelation. It's kind of like the phone, like look at Maxim, for example. The phone is almost like secondary. You wouldn't even realize that a phone is in play. And I know you've talked in the past, Lloyd, about input, output, digital, analog. This is full on digital. However you do it, it's full on digital. You know, there's 5 different input methods, but they all involve either typing something.
Well, the funniest thing about Mosaic was that it was the original reveal idea for Cognito. When I first came up with Cognito, I remember being a kid and seeing the Truman Show poster, and it was a mosaic of all the scenes from the film as Jim Carrey's face. I've always loved that idea. So that was the original reveal for Cognito.
Oh,
and cool. Yeah. And I think I've even spoken about it publicly, so maybe they've seen an interview or anything. Either way, it was, and then Josh Riley posted about it on the Cognito Facebook group as well in 2021. 2021. So quite a while ago. It's like a pretty common idea. But when I'd made test versions of it for Cognito, it wasn't good enough. Like it didn't. Well, you've seen the Cognito reveal for the playing cards, which is annoying because the reveal was never really the big selling point for Cognito for me. It was always about the attaining of the information. But when we tested the reveals, the playing card reveal with the cards scattered and it's secretly written in the cards, just as you know, it just plays to a completely different league. And so didn't do fuck all with it. And now it's come out as like as an individual product. And I mean, obviously I like the reveal because I thought of it so long ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's good. I love the French twins, and it's good in the fact that it doesn't make you really. Some magic apps, the phone is obviously the method, whereas you can get away with, like it kind of sits in that realm of it's not specifically a phone magic app because it's kind of playing with pre-existing images in a sense. It has that card to phone factor where it's just kind of cool to look at as well. It's it's not gonna fool everyone. It's gonna fool some people. But I was thinking about this making coffee earlier. A lot of magic, a lot of performable magic is just cool. Oh, that's just cool. Like that's fucking awesome. That's how interesting is that? And it kind of sits in that realm of there. I think it's good. I'm surprised. I'm surprised it wasn't done a long time ago. Anyway, what's the price point on it?
It's like about 45 quid, I think. 40 quid, 45 quid.
Yeah, I'd say like $30, £30, £25 would be like more of the right thing. Impulse buy. But yeah, I can't knock it. I love the Frank twins. They're so fucking creative. We always end up having a lot of crossover ideas. Me and those guys, when we meet up and we see each other, like, oh, we had this idea, or they match me like, fuck, I would work on the Vanishing AirPods, fucking put them out, whatever. So I think the Mosaic thing as well. But I feel like it's only half. You know what I mean? Like when I put out Cognito, like the brain of it was the juice, and then the reveal
the system to get the information.
Yeah. So, but and it was only like $30, wasn't it? And
well, it's one of those like, here's a bit. And when I showed it to me, I remember I sort of saw it in the peripheral, and he asked me name a celebrity, and of course I said Jimmy Savile, and it didn't work. So he goes, dude, name somebody like fucking legitimate, you piece of shit. And then it populated, and it was pictures of him and his kids, not Jimmy Savile, but pictures of the person performing and his kids. And then he zoomed out, and it was I forgot who I mentioned, Bill Paxton or some shit, or some fucking obscure guy. But it's that reveal, and again, I hate it because it goes against what we talked about here on the podcast of tech in, analog out, where it's like the magic takes place on the phone, and then it's ending on the phone, and it has to. Because what's the alternative here? Oh, look at my poster of fucking Bill Paxton that I've made with a bunch of pictures of my kids. Like, no, it's weird. But in this case, I think that it does subvert that just because of the strength of the revelation, that it's such a novel revelation to a layperson that it's fucking strong as shit. So even if it's something that ends on a phone and the assumption is, okay, there has to be something tech related, it still sort of navigates that just because of the impact of the revelation. And I hate that because it makes me a fucking tiny fat hypocrite, because I hate this bit of like
it's the same as the card to phone app for me. I spoke about this before. I'd go down to like when I used to drink a lot, I'd practice loads of new effects or loads of magic at my local bar, and I would show them some fucking some really, really good magic, like not my own stuff, Face Off by Ron Salamancero and things where there's like no backtracking kind of thing. And the one thing that there was one guy who didn't like a lot of magic, but he went fucking apeshit, was the card to phone app. I would do it to pay for beer. So I show a folded fucking £20 note to beer, and I'd pull a £20 note off to pay for drinks.
Mm-hmm.
What can you say? Some magic doesn't have to be fooling. Some magic is just cool. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It sits in that category, which makes me feel like an arsehole when I do that stuff. Like I'm sheep. It feels like I want to be an artistic singer that does my own songs, but then I just fucking cover Wonderwall and everyone goes crazy, It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
That's maybe my problem. I don't want to be artistic. I just want to go out there and blow their motherfucking tits off.
Yeah.
Which is what you were doing in this. Sorry, go ahead. I shat on your joke. Yeah. I fucking shat on your bit there. I'm sorry. But I was going to suck fucking Craig's cock here. I'd say that's what I love looking about your work in trailers and stuff. And whenever you go out and perform for these products, that, you're performing for people under all circumstances, drunk, fucking just bar fucks, chicks that are, sometimes like, what the fuck? And you manage to get these fucking unbelievable reactions. And that Sucker Punch trailer was a perfect example of that, where, you're performing stuff that could be a little bit finicky and difficult to get those reactions, just because it is a poker chip, and you might have lights. It's nighttime, so there might be a little bit of difficulty, and you're killing it. The fucking bit, I don't want to say anything, but there's a bit where something happens to maybe a stack per se, and fucking crazy in their hands. The reactions were unbelievable.
You know what? I'm shit at a lot of stuff. I'm very good at getting. There's two things I'm very good at. Apparently, one is getting sued, and
rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so. Yeah. And the other one is I've always prided myself on being able to get good reactions for any trick. Like I remember when I went over to Penguin, I was filming some stuff and I had everything put together, but there were a couple of tricks that I was filming for other people, and I didn't get the prop until I went over to Penguin. And literally an hour afterwards, I got the tutorial and everything, and I'd worked it out in my head. Within an hour, I was like going out and getting live performances, and I'm really proud of myself that I can go out. And I think that when a company works with me, they know that worst case scenario, they're going to get really good fucking reactions. And I think it's important because the amount of times that I have people going, well, that's not going to work in the real world. Well, the more I show you that it is, the more you can say you're wrong, without being funny. Magic's subjective, but I'm not going to go out and put my name on it.
You know what you are? You are the Grim Reaper to keyboard warriors. You are the fucking plague to those people, because there used to be I don't see it as much anymore, especially when it comes to products that you're involved with, Craig. But there used to be this big fucking on like the Magic Cafe and places where people would comment, "This would never work in the real world. This would never work in the real world." Blah blah blah. You'd have magicians, and I'd see it not just for my own stuff, but like I'd see stuff from magicians that were really talented, and I'd watch them work these certain effects in certain places in difficult situations, and then their product would come out, and you'd see the same people on the Magic Cafe commenting, "This is trash. Because it would never work in the real world." And I would be tearing my fucking hair out, thinking, like, tell a different lie. Tell a different lie, because this is kind of provable. But the sort of, when it comes to you just have so many live performances in so many different situations for every product that like you've removed that option for that live from those people, because they can't. It's indisputable. And I think it started with you big time with the Quantum deck.
Yeah.
And the whole thing was it can't be examined. And luckily we had I mean, talking about this till we're blue in the face, but we already had so much footage of it being examined. That the moment that the discussion started, people go, well, it can't be fucking examined. It's like, okay, actually, here's the footage. Shut the fuck up. You're welcome.
Yeah.
And it was like, kind of pull the rug from under us.
I think the real test of Craig's strength in that is if you go out and you perform anything from Drink Magic by Michael P. Lair. All right, Craig. That's the true testament. All right.
What's that?
I can't do fucking miracles. There's no way that you can take that turn it into anything other than what it is. Total, complete and utter shit.
I was asking Craig last week, I'm like, oh, what's the worst thing you've seen? Like, just the thing that comes to mind. And he mentioned that, Lloyd, which was this fucking DVD. And I remember seeing the trailer for it and just dying of laughter. Because there's this guy making like a Coke can shrink, and the method's obvious. He makes a small Coke can vanish in like a cup, and it's the funniest shit because he does this thing, right? He's pouring the Coke can in the cup, and then he goes like that to make it vanish. It's so fucked. And apparently he had some words to say to Craig, which I would watch that cage match in a fucking heartbeat.
What words did he have to say to you?
Oh, he ripped me a new asshole. He's like, you can't say that about my product. This is when I was on the Wizard product review, and I'm like, I think I fucking can, mate. Because the Wizard product review, people think I was bad when I came back to Magic TV. I've mellowed now. I'm 50. People think I was bad when I came back to Magic TV. Watch some of the fucking episodes.
Oh, you went full retard on that.
I'll never forget when Dan Harlan pissed me off. And so me and, I can't remember what he did, but he pissed me off. So me and David Penn did a whole skit where we were reviewing a Dan Harlan product, and then like there was this like dream sequence, and then you see me running into the World Magic shop with a balaclava on, grabbing the cash register, running out, my trousers falling down around my ankles, going, yeah, we did. I remember doing
fucking hell.
You remember Devon Knight? We reviewed a Devon Knight product, and I remember saying how shit this Devon Knight product was, and he David Penn like challenged me to perform it to real people. He's like, you can't decide that unless you're real people. So I was like, okay, I'm going to have to get into character as Devon Knight then if I'm going to make this work. And we had this whole thing where we were opening up a Yellow Pages, looking for fancy dress shops. Hey, you got a Devon Knight costume? And then they delivered a fucking Elvis Presley costume with a wig, because that's what it fucking looks like. And then I went into the change room. I came out and I was like, hello, I'm Devon Knight. And then we literally went out into Birmingham and filmed me going up to strangers, doing this shit trick, getting shit reactions, dressed as fucking Elvis Presley, doing an Elvis Presley accent, calling myself Devon Knight. That is the fucking effort we went through to piss people off on the Wizard Product Review. I'll never forget when we got in trouble with Wayne Dobson and Jeff McBride, and we almost got cancelled over that whole thing. And we were forced to make an apology. And me, dumb as fucking fuck back then, I remember looking straight to camera and I said, I'd like to apologize, because we got accused of like bullying Jeff McBride and Wayne Dobson. And I remember looking straight to camera with David Penn at my side and saying, Wayne Dobson doesn't stand for bullying or anything fucking else. And like, I knew Wayne would find that funny, but because I've been mates with Wayne for years. But like, how I didn't get cancelled 1,000 times in the old days. So you think I was bad now? Motherfucker, go back and watch some of the episodes of the Wizard Pro Review.
I remember all this stuff just being like, you were a pariah.
Yeah.
Oh, good though. Fuck you. Oh my God, he's bullying guys. They have the ability to speak for themselves. Well, Wayne, no, because he's dead. But
it was okay in 2000.
Yeah. Homer Simpson as pasta. But what I was gonna tell you, just a little bit of a side from Jeff McBride. It's so funny because I see him on Facebook, and like he'll be dressed like esoteric, like he'll have this robe on and he'll have this like kimono, but then he'll be wearing Skechers shoes. Like, and it kind of throws me off. I love that. It's so funny because you can't unsee it. You see him dressed like a very fucking, like this, like a magician, like a conjurer.
Mysterious yet comfortable.
Yeah. Like, bro, you can't pick and choose. You gotta go full boss to the wall and fucking
astonishing yet cozy.
These shoes, and it's like Skechers.
Come mystery and speed.
Can I also mention something here? I don't know if this is gonna be cut. I hope not, but it's kind of upsetting to me.
You do realize it's fucking it's squeaky bum time when Pig Cake has to preface something as there's a chance this might cut.
God,
because it upsets me. Okay, last week we were talking about the biceps of Joshua J. All right, as we do every week, and we also made mention of Andy Gladwin being an absolute badass, going through the ranks and fucking, seeing these people and telling them, "Hey, fuck
this
you!"
Huge bomb cock, bomber boy dick, just take that, fucking pirates.
And alas, in our group chat, right, I see a message from Andy Gladwin saying to you guys, praising you guys, saying, "Thanks, fellas, for the lovely words. You guys are insane. Also, thanks to that dweeby fella who I don't know." The dweeby fella that I don't.
Two things on that. One is not fucking wrong, but two, when Andy Gladwin calls you a dweeb, motherfucker, that's like Ted Karmolovich calling someone a nonce.
Dweeb. I'd like to see Andy do fucking push-ups, okay? Andy, you and your fucking amazing card work. I'd love to see you do some push-ups, calling me a dweeb. All right. Maybe the height. Maybe in height. Yeah, you're right.
How many organizations have you taken down?
You know what? We can't talk about that.
I think we're all dweebs compared to Andy Gladwin with his
Andy Gladwin
thick, veiny,
horse cock.
Just fucking dude needs match score.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but fucking nearly.
Yeah.
If you're Andy Gladwin is not a dweeb, if you are a small, emaciated Chinese person reselling fucking Vanishing Elephant, okay?
He's their kryptonite. He's their kryptonite.
He's just the fear of God into fucking pirates all over the world. He's doing God's work. He's stepping up to the plate and doing this shit so we don't have to.
You know, like when Neo goes into like it goes back into the Matrix and the fucking walls bend as he walks down the hallways and shit, and
Yeah.
they fucking turn to numbers. When Andy Gladwin walks into like a fucking Ukrainian or wherever they're from, Estonian fucking hackers, pirates building, the fucking Wi-Fi goes down automatically just by his fucking presence alone.
Yeah.
And that shit,
His fucking fingers and everybody just bends over.
fuck you.
In
You
our
can't
heads,
fucking speak to your friends.
Andy comes in there, fucking guns a blazing. He has 2 fucking Berettas, slow motion, just killing these guys, right, for fucking reselling magic.
Throwing
But
cards.
in reality, it's like, hey guys, could you guys fucking stop doing this? Like, could you guys stop taking it down? But in our heads, it's so much better because he's just in there like this guy that has like a family of 17 kids, right? Reselling a fucking Vanishing Elephant or fucking Metal 2 for like $2. And then he just fucking points at his head and blasts him off, fucking kills him with no regard for his family just because
And then
he
he's gonna
did
get,
selling.
I think he needs to get like a teardrop tattoo, and then it'd be like Andy Gladman, the boy who cried magic.
I can't wait for that movie, man. I really want to see it because I want to see what the fuck, actually happens behind the scenes for these fucking companies. It's so interesting.
It's just gonna be a static shot with like Andy sitting at a table. You see the back of his laptop, and for an hour and a half is him going like,
It's gonna
different
open
angles.
It's going to be opening with Andy sitting shirtless in a throne, surrounded by like fucking magic everywhere, and Joshua J walks in.
in a
just
bow tie and
but
an
he-
apron, just
he crawl-
keeping
yeah,
grapes
he
as he
crawls-
fucking power types.
Yeah, and he's got like little leather jockstrap on, and he's got a fucking chain around his neck, and he's tied to the wall.
One bollock hanging out.
One bollock hanging out, and he crawls over with the tray. He's like, "Here's your drink, Mr. Gladwin, sir," and that's how the fucking thing opens.
You didn't do the voice. You didn't do the voice.
Oh, the the Joshua J voice.
The one that you always do.
What Kermit the Frog?
He's Jack Kermit.
Have you even seen that? Joshua J is fucking Kermit the Frog. He really is.
But jacked. I love Kermit, man. I'm a fucking huge Kermit fan. So whenever I see Joshua J and his fucking biceps, I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah. I was looking into
It doesn't
I
matter
can't-
how much he hits that gym. He's not fucking Andy Gladwin.
well, you remember him from like fucking like the L&L publishing when he was just like a fucking teenager with these, fucking strippers that they hire for that. I put a post recently on Facebook saying that I would pay substantial money for the behind the scenes because you know that Louis Falanga had to have just fucking Tommy Wonder ripping darts, just fucking smoking, dropping amazing lore on Magic, Max Maven fucking, really oddly fucking talking about shit. And I would just love for all that footage to somehow be released. Who the Vanishing owns L&L, no?
No,
Murphy's.
it's Murphy's that owns
Murphy's.
I don't know.
So what the fuck? If they have access to all that, that'd be a fucking
They've got access to
Oh
all
my
their
God,
digital assets. Why they haven't done something with that, I don't.
Don't
fucking
even
know.
start me. As soon as literally minute one when I found out that they had I think I don't want to say a number. I think there's like 500 LNL tapes.
Yeah, this fucked up.
500. I was like, no brainer, easy peasy. First thing you do, digitize it all, and set up. I don't like the idea of subscriptionizing everything. But when it comes to an archive of 500 fucking tapes, it is so much easier to have it as like $12 a month that you can just access anytime, or even any price, like fucking $10 a month, and just access them easily. But if they did it categorized and then really well, like what's it called, the taxonomy of it all, so you could like search by keywords and phrases and artists or plots, slides, just make it like that. It would be the biggest. I can't imagine a single magician that would not
Yeah,
think of
that's
signing
a
up to that.
good
It's just the biggest
repository.
no-brainer in fucking Magic history.
It'd be amazing.
But I'm
But
talking
no.
about cutting room floor stuff. Do they have access to that? I doubt it.
Who's the guy that owned it?
Louis
Guy that
Falanga.
owned it. Yeah. From my understanding, he gave them like like physically, like give them everything. It's like here's everything. Do what here's master tapes. Here's whatever.
That to me is a fucking godsend. Like I would go through not like the stuff, just the refuse. What they thought is cutting room floor. That's what I would say. That's what I would release because that would just be unbelievable. Because imagine you'd see like these performers, these names warming up to the audience, like getting the audience performing the real shit. Like, granted, yeah, they did perform all these tricks, but the shit that they would perform on the spot, like that sort of stuff, even the lore and their like just theory on shit while they're not supposedly being recorded. That to me would be really valuable. Not what's sort of clean and sanitized that you're presented with, fucking John from LNL Publishing and David and Frank and all these guys going, oh my God, fuck yeah. I want to see them.
For me, like always, like a lot of my favorite or like the gems that I remember from like lectures, going to watch lectures or streaming them or whatever they are. A lot of the stuff comes from the minutiae in between effects, or as they like just ad lib into like blah, 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 oh, by the way, this, that, and the other, or a little quip. That's normally the gold that I take away from lectures. And yeah, you're right. To see if they could be branded well, cutting room floor, or what would it be called, like the gold dust. Fucking.
The problem with Murphy's is I think they're just really fucking busy. Like I anticipated that by now, because you left Murphy's like 3 months ago now, didn't you, Lloyd?
6 months ago. I think I left tail end January, maybe.
I would have thought that they would have replaced you by now. They need to replace you. Like when I went over to Sacramento, they were so fucking busy. Like it was insane how much George had on his plate. It was insane how much the guys at the studio, they work hard. Javier works hard. Everybody works hard there. And I would have thought that they would have replaced you. They need to replace you. They can't run that studio without a you or somebody like you.
It's difficult because I wore many hats, whereas a lot of people have one discipline or like, one in a sort of crossover discipline. And I don't know. And I'm not saying I was a master of all my trades. I was a jack of all trades. But it's hard to.
You understood marketing, you understood hype, you understood ad copy. You know how to film and get the best footage. You're an incredible editor, both of tutorials and trailers. You understand marketing. You can work with the marketing team. You understand graphics. You understand Photoshop. You understand layout. You're very well connected. So you connected with so many different people to bring them into Murphy's, which is how we met. You're an incredible creator. Not only your own stuff, but of other people's material as well. So the amount of times you looked at something I've bought and you're like, well, we could improve this with this. Most people don't have all of those skill sets.
I'm not saying I'm good at those skills. I could do them. I can competently get through the day. And I think from a higher-res point of view, when you're trying to replace someone who does that, I think it would have been easy to fill a spot if I hadn't been there before, if I hadn't done work there, and they can just go, right, we need someone who can do product design or someone can do icon or whatever. Yeah, I know. I just think there's not. I've been trying to help them.
There's not a lot of. You'd have to find like a really nice tiny lesbian to do all that, and they can't. They don't have anyone that looks like you that could replace
a lady golfer or something.
Yeah, you'd have to find like a fucking like a jockey that's really into magic and marketing and all the other stuff. Like a little, like an what's the one from Juno? Elliot Page. Like they need to find one of those to replace you. And unfortunately, there's not a lot of those that have your skill set, Lloyd. So unfortunately,
skill set in the loosest terms possible. Yeah, but I was trying to brainstorm with George like not long after I went, and even like a couple of weeks ago, because I want them. I love the studio department. Like they're just an incredible bunch of people. But so obviously like just because I know they've been like struggling under the workload now, so I don't want them to see them do that because they've been like it's hard. And I cannot think of anyone that sort of ticks. And I think it's unrealistic to expect that as well, to have somebody who's going to tick all the boxes. Because I knew from a very young age, like really, 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 really young, that exactly what I wanted to do in Magic. So I sort of carved my own box within the industry. And I don't know anyone coming through doing exactly the same thing. So I don't know, but I think they need to make a compromise. Either hire like 3 people on like lower salaries, or
Full of shit. You're so to
well,
replace
but
Nave.
they need an editor and a videographer, right?
Yeah.
So that's one role. They need somebody who can create products as well and potentially produce products. So that's 2 separate jobs, 2 separate roles, and then somebody to help specifically with the type of marketing that I focus on, which is making giant campaigns that would be seen by the industry. That is 3 kind of like individual roles, and I'm just lucky, or I just purposely wanted to go in that direction, but I don't know anyone else that was interested in that shit as I am.
I could be a fucking Javier stunt double if they ever need anybody to fucking do something dumb, like, you know, if they have a need for a trailer where somebody gets slammed through a table or fucking body slammed, I could fill in as Javier's body double, so that works.
Absolutely good. You're absolutely good.
Stunt cunt.
Yeah,
I can't think of anybody. I was actually speaking to somebody about this the other day. I can't think of anybody who would be able to fulfill that role at Murphys. I really don't. Also, when you consider that people would have to relocate to Sacramento, which is one of the most expensive places to go and live in. You know, it's the expensive part of California with none of the fun bits of California. You've got that to consider as well. And also the other thing is, like, Murphys are very, 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 very corporate. Like, not that I would ever do it in a million years, but can you imagine how long I'd last if I went over to Murphys? I'd say the wrong thing within 15 fucking seconds. Like,
Oh yeah.
you fucking what were you saying earlier about fucking shitting on Jeff McBride and fucking Wayne Dobson? You drop one of those and then immediately, fuck. You remember this is somewhat related. Do you remember it's not Card Shark 3, Brian Tudor?
Oh yeah, whatever happened to him?
what was he?
The
Was he
Revolution
Handlords or something? Was he Handlords?
No, it was
No, I'm
he had
sure that's
3
that's the
videos.
video your mum was in, wasn't it?
Yeah. With the she was also in Butt Blaster 7, but that's beside the point.
Cubit
she
is
still, yeah, she still does that to this day. But he had what was it? It was Card something that he came out with 1, 2, and 3, and each one had, like, you know, revolutionary cardistry at the time, and the third one was just a fucking video of him bitching about other people doing cardistry. It was like 4 things that he showed, and then just the rest was him shitting on the industry. What was it called? It was called Card something. Fucking no, and I have to look this shit up. Fuck me.
Brian Tudor. Is he still? Well, was it? This is purely speculation, but from what I remember, didn't he have like big cokehead energy about him?
Yeah, but we need that.
Yes.
Brian Tudor, a show off.
Oh,
So
Show
show off
off.
1, 2, and 3. And he's out here saying, like, yo, you know how hard it is to come up with a different cut, like a one-handed cut? I've came up with 7 cuts. Fuck you, fucking Devo. Like, talking shit about all these other cardistry guys, and it's just the best video. And you know, you could tell the best videos by how low stars they get on, like, Penguin Magic. Like, their fucking rating.
dude, on his Facebook. So first of all, he has a Facebook page. I was like spitting as I spoke. He has a Facebook page, and he's a Christian God nut now.
No.
He believes in God, and he's like full on posting about it.
Fuck yeah, bro. What a fucking legend. Brian Tudor. Let me see
What a
if it's
fucking-
is it the original Being Polite? Oh yeah, that's him. Oh, my
Only in
God.
2024, he was on Zoom with people, with Chris Kenner, Ricky Smith, ECAT, and a bunch of others.
Oh yeah, I see this. Discord blessed.
This is
Bro, what a
strange. What a
Fucking
throwback.
legend. I love this guy though. I absolutely fucking love this guy, and I adore his products, and also just that ranked one was fucking great. Here he is at Misdirections Magic Shop. I don't know how long ago this was. What a stud too. My goodness. I mean, as a heterosexual man, he's a attractive fella. I gotta tell you, very strong chin, dude. You know, like that strong fucking chin that just makes you want to fucking cut cheese with it. That'd be a great fucking interview for fucking
Cobra
Magic
Cut
TV.
collection. Remember the Cobra Cut?
Yeah, dude, I was.
I would interview that guy in a heartbeat. But a lot of magicians kind of leave the industry and find God, and become quite religious. What's your old friend Adam Wilber? Like, I know he's still performing. I know he's still performing, but I mean, he spends a lot of his time creating Christian playing cards now with Christian messages on them, I believe. In fact, I think that's his thing.
Yeah. Oh, the Cobra Cup going on TikTok. Oh yeah, he juiced it. Yeah, I suppose it's the thing. Like, in it, I don't know. It's a different world.
Yeah,
I don't get it. But more power to them. More power to people that subscribe to that lifestyle. I suppose it's a good way to stay on track for some people. You know, have a moral code to literally live by. I don't know.
I went to church the other day because
Did you?
somebody died within our circle, like some relative of a relative died. So I went to Catholic church, and let me tell you, man, I was taken aback by the shoddies that were there in what is my favorite attire, which is business sexual. It's my favorite type of like people like bikinis. I love pencil skirts, dude. And it was just, I was just sinning the entire time because you're doing the whole thing in Catholic church. You got to stand up, you got to like hug people around you, and I was taking full advantage of that. I'm just like, oh hey, hi, Chanel number 5. Oh fuck yeah, hugging this one like just inappropriately. It was a great time. So I could see why they're doing that, especially like Christian church, because Christian church, boy, you know why all these pastors are just fucking sliding into other DMs and shit. So that's just a brief aside. I'm sorry, but it was a very interesting time. I was gonna buy church swag, but they took it out by the time the thing ended. But that's, yeah, it's funny mentioning that. That my takeaway from church is that it has a lot of hot girls in it.
Is Brian Tudor a doctor now?
No.
And I can see a photo on his Instagram of him with like a medical, what's it called, a stethoscope on and a little like. Is that him?
Well, male nurses are very popular in Magic.
True. There's a crossover, I suppose.
You don't have to cut this off again.
No, I know quite a lot of nurses and doctors within Magic. There's loads of doctors in Magic.
That come out with any card, any number routines
I think so.
involving
Who do I used to know? Who was a paramedic? Mark Zalaga was a paramedic, I think. He used to be friends with Cody Norton from like 20 years ago. Remember him? He had some good
Brian Tudor.
ideas.
Oh yeah, he does have. Let me follow him on Instagram. What an absolute fucking legend this was. There was that one that he came out with in Penguin Magic. That was just him. Had to have been after just fucking hitting, just and then showing like gambling slights. I don't know if you remember this. It wasn't called Generation X. It was I think Card Sharp or something, where he's just showing all these moves like aggressively, like all these gambling cheating techniques. Fucking legend. I love that. I devoured that like a motherfucker, dude. You know, the other one was from years ago. That was my first Magic DVD that got the worst reviews I've ever seen. And it was School of Hard Knocks by Rodney Reyes. Do you remember this?
Oh my God, you're going back in time now. Yes, I
I
did.
love Rodney Reyes.
Dude, that he showed this cut. This well, I'm raping it, but he showed this cut, and it's the first time I've ever seen any sort of cardistry. I loved that fucking DVD, and it just got railed by like the
Did it?
Magic Cafe and every forum, Penguin Magic forum, and it's good Magic. He has this face up ambitious card routine in it, which is phenomenal. He had
He's an incredible magician. Incredible.
but this was him starting out. So remember, obviously you grow and you adapt, but he had this fucking card split routine that I still do. Like it was so good. And it got
What was it
fucking
called
railed.
again?
School of Hard Knocks. And it was my first DVD. It taught me the pass. And why did it get such bad reviews? It was so fucking good.
Probably people
I
be like, "This will
remember.
never work in the real world," and he's a proper like real world performer as well.
He had like
I'm watching the
this
trailer for it
is-
now.
Yeah, it's rough because it's like
Speaking of
90
products, what are the newest products that have been out or coming out this week? Or
Well,
ha-
actually,
or are
before we
out?
talk about new products, can I ask one thing? Can I bring one thing up that I want to mention
Yeah.
very quickly? Your very good old friend Stephen Frayne has announced that he's doing a 2027 UK tour, which is I mean, he's doing the 2007. He's got so many fucking dates, like so many. He's going to be a busy little puppy. Like it starts on the 7th. He's doing 17th of January in Salford, 18th of January in Salford, 19th of January, 20th of January, 21st of January, 3 on the 21st of January, 22nd, 3 on the 22nd. Then he moved. Then he's got a day off. Then 24th Bristol, 25th Bristol, 25th Bristol, 26th Bristol, 26th. I mean, it goes on. Then from Bristol, he's going to Birmingham. He's in Birmingham for like 2 weeks. Like he's just basically touring non-stop from the beginning of January onwards. Which is great because I don't think he's done a big tour like this for a long time. What I found interesting, and I wanted your opinion on this, I know that he obviously was ill for a while and he wasn't in the community for a while. He wasn't around. And when he came back and reinvented himself, he did the Dynamo is Dead show. Do you remember the special Dynamo is Dead, where it's like he made a big deal of burying himself? Dynamo is dead. I'm not Dynamo anymore. I'm Stephen Frayne. And I met him a couple of times after that, and it was like really weird. What do I call you, Stephen Frayne or Dynamo? What am I calling you? But on the latest tour, it's called Dynamo, the Up Close and Magical tour. But the key thing is Dynamo.
Right.
I just find it quite curious that like he hasn't made an announcement of anything like this. But it seems that he's decided to change his name back to Dynamo or something. Do you know anything about this, Lloyd, or what's your take on this? Also,
Well,
at the time, he changed all of his socials to Dynamo is Dead, and now they've been changed back. Now they've been changed back to Dynamo.
I can't really get into it. There was some
lots of fuckery,
lots
lots
of
of legal fuckery.
stuff beyond his control, behind the scenes. I think the closest I could potentially say to it is like, you know how the guys from Top Gear left Top Gear and then started up in what's it called, the Grand Tour or something?
Grand Tour,
but they couldn't use the name Top Gear.
Mm-hmm.
Something in that vein, I think,
Right.
was going on.
And so, therefore, something must have changed recently.
I don't think it's changed recently. I think it did change a long time ago. However, part of the thing that went down a couple of years ago was to do with that. And I think, it's not really, I can't really go fully like into it, but no, but it's just more, it's I don't think there's anything like exciting or mysterious to do with it. I think it's just he rebirthed, like had like a rebranding, and now is kind of using both. Like, so you know what I mean? Like, it's like it was like when like like your favorite band sort of comes up with a new album and it's a hit album, but it's a different genre of music, and then when you see them on tour, they'll do their new stuff and their classic work as well. I think it's kind of in that same vein where like he had the big reemergence, and it's like, cool, let me like tell you about what my journey's been, what I've been up to, like life so far, and so like sort of give people a big fucking update, and then the next tour is like, right, let's put all this together as one.
It's still massive in England, man. Walking down the street with him and Peter
He's
and
an
Pete
A-lister in England.
fucking Leeds. Like they're like, dude, what are you doing here? Why the fuck are you in Leeds? And he's like, he was staying at Peter's for like a little while, shooting some stuff, and I was there at the same time. And he's, dude, nonstop people coming up to him, taking pictures. No one's going, oh, look, it's Stephen Frayne. They're going, Dynamo, it's Dynamo. So it's as much as you try to shed that name, for whatever reason legally, you're always going to be Dynamo. He's always going to be fucking Dynamo. and whatever rebrand for whatever purpose, it's still at heart. Dynamo's the one that got popular, not Stephen Frayne. But it was like, I guess, metaphorical and in a very nice way to do it in that special. But fuck me, dude, I forget, because you talk to him and he's a boy, he's a lad, he's just like a dude. And then I remember going. He was in Blackpool. He calls me Pigface because he forgot my name when we first met him. And he goes, "Oh, Pigface." I'm like, "No, Pig Cake." So to this day, he still calls me Pigface. That fucker. But he's there like in a balaclava, like incognito in Blackpool. And he goes, "Oh, Pigface." I'm like, dude, like everyone knows how you look, even if you're wearing a fucking costume like a.
You're
Like,
there doing the Dynamo shuffle in a balaclava.
yeah, like I think people are gonna know it's you, dude. Like it's not really fucking. You're not incognito in Blackpool, England. And people still fucking selfies up the ass, fucking people at bars were going up to them. Oh, Dynamo, oh my god, Dynamo, let me take a picture. Fuck, it's
Yeah.
such
I mean,
a
are you
weird thing.
excited about his tour, Lloyd? You going to go and check it out? I think it's coming to Wales.
Oh, 100%. 100 fucking percent.
Yeah.
Me and Kaylee sort of got together partly because of that. Because of his first tour.
Really?
Yeah, I told you the story. Now. So me and Kaylee went to school together. We had a little kiss back in the day when we were teenagers. And then we went our separate ways. She went and lived in Australia. I went traveling all over the world. And I was at Dynamo's show in Cardiff, which would have been like 2016, maybe something like that, when he did the big arena tour. And I was looking at the stage, and he called people. He needed sisters to go on, or siblings to go on stage. And I was fucking watching because Dynamo had invited me, so I was in like this little like VIP booth thing. And I was watching. I was like, "That's fucking Kaylee Hughes, who I went to school with. What the? And that's her fucking sister. What the fuck?" I was like, "No, is it?" I couldn't quite see properly. And then after the show, we all went and got grub with the crew and stuff. And after that, we had like, "Oh, thanks for coming up to the show, blah blah blah," which was like a public tweet. And I'm like, "Oh yeah, cheers, like thanks for having me." And Haley seen that because she tweeted him, be like, "Oh, amazing time, got to go on stage with Dynamo," because she's a Magic fan. Like when I went to her house for the first time, she has like, like the public Darren Brown books and like Dynamo books you could buy. Like she has all those in her bedroom. So she's seen, as she was tweeting him, she's seen that he like personally thanked me for going. And she messaged me on Facebook saying like, "Lloyd Barnes from school, how the fuck do you know Dynamo?" And then she looked at my page. She's like, "And how do you like travel the world? What the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh," and I was trying to be like a bit coy because I don't like telling people what I do that are not magicians. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, I like sort of design stuff, but backstage for people, not very what's the word, like, glamorous, whatever. But it allows me to do, what I want for a living and travel, which is cool." And then she saw it and never replied to me for 3 years. And
fuck.
And then we met up in a local bar, and I was like, "Kaylee fucking Hughes." I was like, "I can't believe you never replied to me." And she was like, "I was so intimidated by the fact that like you knew like celebrities, you were traveling, you didn't have to do a 9 to 5 job." She's like, "I literally didn't know what to say." I was like, "Oh, what the?" I said, I didn't realize it. And then yeah, that was it. We were living together within 5 weeks, engaged within 6 months, married next year. It was like,
Because when you know, you know.
dude, I fucking met
man.
a hot girl from my hometown that I'd always like adored, and then I went to her house and she had Magic books and DVDs. She was locked in. She wasn't getting away. Done. No chance.
That's a red flag to me, dude. If I show up to your house and you got fucking like Darren Brown's book, I'm like, I'm okay. Oh, it's fun to be here, but I just gotta go. I have to have diarrhea. I'll be back. And then blocking everything. So you're a trooper, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh no, I want those red flags. Give me that bunny banner shit. If she like, I hope she was like, "Oh my god, he's my dream man, and he's into magic too."
Yeah.
Yes. Cut my legs off, chain me to a fucking bed, and beat me with hot and boiling water if I ever try to leave you. Give you all the craziness you've got.
Yeah, dude.
And then call me
Fucking A,
Joshua
man.
J.
Yeah. See, that would have been the biggest red flag had she had that magic book by Joshua J that he put out like in I guess the layperson. It's funny how there's two types of magic book now that you mention it. There's like magic books, like fucking Darwin Ortiz and his theory book. And then you have like lay people magic books that is just more chill. Like it's the Oz Perlman book. That's like a very fucking like here's how you could use mind techniques to get your way, and it's like fucking just generic bullshit. Whereas in our craft, magic books are like, oh, so you're gonna hold the card in your right phalange, and you're gonna fucking, oh, God.
See, the best thing is right. Is chatting to her, and I was like, because she loves magic, and she like a little. The only magician she thought was like, her kind of type kind of thing was Darren Brown, and the pleasure it gave me because I said because there's chances, obviously like she knows like D now and things and a bunch of like big magicians. There are chances that like we're gonna brush shoulder, and I would hate it if I was married to it and I knew that some guy was a fucking type, and the pleasure it gave me, not type, but she was like, oh, is there any magician that I would like, would think is good in that sense? It'd be Darren Brown, and the fucking joy it brought me, like, yeah. Well, he's gay, so you're welcome.
Yeah,
I was like,
he's
yes,
awesome.
so-
Mug. He's Darren was fucking. I'd let
Also,
Darren
I
go
would take
that.
for Darren, 100%.
Yeah,
He's
$1,000,000%.
I haven't
He's the
seen it yet,
best.
but Darren's just done an interview with Ben Hanlon. Have you heard of that? He's just done an interview. Ben Hanlon's got a podcast. You remember Ben Hanlon? He did Tricked, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. So
Oh
Ben,
yeah, I know. Sorry.
so
I
Ben
don't know,
Hanlon was quite a big name. He had like it was on TV for various different seasons. He's now like doing corporate speaking, motivational speaking, and does some magic. But he started this podcast. It's actually a decent podcast, and he's just had Darren Brown on the podcast. So
Wow, fuck, that's a good name.
Yeah.
Your boy. No, somebody did an interview with that guy. I think some other guy on YouTube. Just mentioned. That dude that did like a 5-hour compilation on fucking Oz Perlman.
yeah,
Like a 5-hour
yeah, yeah.
expose. I think B Don, the magician. We did an interview not so long ago. He interviewed that guy, which I just find fucking interesting because 5 hours on anyone is fucking too much. Like you spent
Oh,
5 hours.
It's bordering on obsession. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, but any Darren, I remember he came out with a penguin magic that people shout on that I thought was very insightful. Because they were expecting him to show tricks in that. And it's like Darren Brown is not going to show fucking magic tricks or your fucking effects in his lecture per se. He's going to do an interview. So I don't know if you remember that from years ago. That was one of the like really badly reviewed. Why? It's great. It's
Well,
fucking
I'll tell you
phenomenal.
something. Breaking news. I'll tell you something. I'm on my channel on Saturday. I've got an interview with Mark Mason. And
Mark Mason.
I told you a couple of weeks ago that he's sold pretty much all of his business to a major magic company who are going to be bringing out the entire Mason range.
Range, mate.
Range.
The entire Mason range, mate.
I do an interview with him on Saturday where we break the news, we drop the news, we say who the company is, we talk all about what's happened, what the offer was, absolutely everything. So if anybody wants to know what happened with that's on. I can't say anything just yet. I've had to like negotiate with everybody that I can have this interview go on Saturday. But on Saturday, you're going to find out exactly what's gone on and how exciting it's going to be.
Mark fucking Mason. He is the
Goat.
Billy Mays.
Go.
The fucking Anthony Sullivan of magic, just like the pitchman. That's a dying art, I think, in magic now. It's evolved in a different way.
There's a couple of other people that can do it well. I think that Magic Belay is an incredible pitchman. I don't know what you think.
Yeah.
Oh, but like,
Yeah.
I think he's the only magician I've ever made a post about specifically on Instagram because I was so inspired by him. Well, I met him in, I don't know, 10 years ago in Tannins, I think it was. And the guy is in a different league in terms of any trick that you name in that shop that he'd at least opened and practiced once, he could do it perfectly, like absolutely perfectly. And I was just thinking about how many people have turned into magicians because of that one person? The amount of people that obviously Tannen's is the biggest magic shop in New York next to Phantasma. I think Phantasma was second, right? And then the amount of foot traffic that goes to that store and how long he'd worked there, he must have inspired an entire generation in some way, shape, or form. And not just New Yorkers, like Americans that go to New York and visit and look for a magic shop. I think
Tannen's
he's-
was the very
he's
first
phenomenal.
magic shop that I went to, ever.
Mhm.
And I was
Wow.
blown away.
Ever.
Yeah, because I got into magic and I kind of dicked around with it. I wasn't very good. Still not, but I dicked around with it, and I went and worked for in a summer camp. Do you know this story? I've told this story a couple of times. I was shit at magic. I'd learned a couple of tricks. I'd bought some tricks. My big trick was the dynamic coins. That was the thing. That was my big thing. I was fucking diabolically shit at magic, and like I was terrible. But I knew I wanted to do it, but I didn't practice it or anything. I'd never even picked up a deck of cards. Wouldn't even know how to hold one. And I saw that there was this thing happening called Camp America, and I just finished school. I was 18. This thing called Camp America where you could go and apply to be a counselor in an American summer camp. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. But I have no skills. I'm not good at anything. I'm not good at fucking anything. Sports, no, nothing. I'm shit at everything. And when I went to London, where they were doing this Camp America thing, I went into this building and there were literally hundreds of camps. And the idea is each one of them had a booth. You had to go up and sell yourself and tell them why you should be a counselor. And I'm like, I can't do anything. I was looking really depressed. And then there was this one summer camp called the Performing Arts and Sports Center in Starocca in Pennsylvania. I was like, Performing Arts, and it said magician wanted. All right, okay. And I went over there, and luckily the guy knew fuck all about magic, and I'm very good at blagging. So I went over and I was like, hey, I'm a magician. You want to, you know, are you looking for magicians? And he's like, show me a trick. So I pulled out my trusty dynamic coins. He'd never seen it before. He thought I was some sort of David Roth love child, and he's like, yeah, and he gave me the he gave me the job, which was amazing. Now, the sensible thing to do at that point would have been to practice and get good before I went to the summer camp, but no, I didn't do that at all. So when I went to the summer camp, you had to get there like 3 weeks beforehand to set everything up and bond with your fellow counselors. This was like a really expensive summer camp. People paid a fortune to go there. And there was an entire magic department. They had this big, massive building with a stage and loads of props that had illusions and everything. And I walked in and we all sat around this massive table, and there were like about 6 of us. And the director of magical studies was Brad Henderson. And then everybody else was like 18 years old. And, you know, we were there just, Brian Brushwood was there, dude. He was one of the people.
Wow.
He was one of the people. It was like the who's who. And I'll never forget this. They're all sitting around the table and everyone's like, right, okay, should we all do a card trick to start off with, or all do a trick? So they're all doing these fucking incredible card tricks with this incredible sleight of hand skill. And they're all doing this amazing stuff. And then it comes to me. And I'm like, I haven't got a deck of cards. And this guy says, don't worry, you can borrow mine. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what to do with these. And he's like, well, do a trick with something you do know. And I pulled out my little dynamic coins. And I was watching Brad Henderson's eyes, and you could see the life draw, like literally fall out of his skull, because he realized he'd been stuck with a fucking dud who knew nothing. And there was no way he could send him back. It's like, I was that shit magic trick that you buy from the catalog in the 80s that you've got to do because it was just terrible. So I spent the entire summer sucking and just being absolutely terrible. But I always say, if it wasn't for Brad Henderson, I wouldn't be in magic right now. He taught me so much that summer. But then I spent 3 months backpacking around America. And the first place I went to was New York for a couple of weeks. And I was like, I'm going to go to a magic shop. And I'd never been to one. And I walked into Tannen's. So that's a very long fucking way of saying, yes, Tannen's is the magic shop I went to.
And that fucking coffin elevator. That's like you. If it's just you and you're going up there and you're like, what the fuck? Where am I right now? And then you
Get
open
a
up and it's
receipt
just,
with your photo on it.
yeah.
That-
Wow, dude, what a fucking throwback. And then magic delays there.
Magic Balay's got his own magic shop now. You guys know.
Don't blink. Don't.
Yeah.
I'm so desperate to go there.
Yeah, I really want to go.
Is it in Jersey? Is it just outside of New York?
No, I thought it was in central New York.
Oh, where is it?
That'd be really funny if he's like this New York magician, but he has it in like fucking New York, like some fucking some New York adjacent place, and not really. That'd be a very New York shit.
Oh, it is in New York. I don't know why I thought it was outside it. It's on 336 West and 37th Street, 9th floor, New York, New York. Fucking in the Arts Building. Here, why I thought it was somewhere else. Oh man, I cannot fucking wait to go there.
The pitch, though, man, the art of the pitch, that's not easy. That's not easy by any means. And Mark Mason was sort of that. I think he might be one of the best fucking, as you said, Magic Ballet. It's an art that's dead now because of this. You know, it used to be the sort of pitch. You remember the Svengali pitch, which was something years ago that it was like a rite of passage for all these guys to be able to stop people using this fucking to sell them this fucking deck and all the miracles you could do with it. And I remember being obsessed looking for all these sort of pitch videos of magicians doing it well, and it's doesn't exist anymore.
Well, I used to spend a lot of time pitching magic products when I first became full-time in magic. When I first became full-time in magic, I would every single day I'd go to market stalls around the UK selling magic tricks because I had no gigs, but I'd been fired from my job. So I to make money, I would go to I'd go to markets, and I used to make a lot of money. Like over Christmas, I would make like easily like, and this is way back in the like early 2000s and stuff like that. This is quite a long time ago. I'd make like 800 to 1,000 quid a day on Christmas, over Christmas, like just because people had just become like, yeah, I'll buy it for stocking fillers. It was amazing. And then you'd hit January and you'd make like 50 quid for the whole month. But
well, hopefully you saved it. You didn't spend it on fucking all the what do you call it? Beans from fucking what's the name of the store where they have like sausage rolls? Greg's.
Greg's. Don't diss Greg's. Greg's is the greatest UK invention.
Beans. Fuck's sake.
You can't diss Greg's, man. Greg's is amazing. But Lloyd asked what new tricks were coming out, didn't you, Lloyd?
Yes. Well, what's on the market this week? What's exciting? What's coming out?
I'll tell you. Fuck all. Murphys have continued with their I'm looking on Penguin because they typically have all the new shit. I'll start with Penguin. Top of it is the Pillow Squeaker 12-pack by Murphy's Magic. That's right. Murphy's are continuing to bring out as much crazy fucking shit as they can. Like,
Pillow?
Not content with 1 million like fucking sponge balls and silks. Now they're doing that. So let's skip past that one.
No, I'm stuck on that Pillow Squeaker.
Yeah,
from Murphy's.
Yeah, they've got jumbo and medium size. It's one of those little squeakers that you hold in your hand, and you can palm it and pretend you're squeaking shit. You know the one.
Yeah, but pillow.
I don't know why they call them pillow squeakers.
Okay, I thought that maybe a pillow squeaker.
These are the classic plastic pillow squeakers that have been fooling audiences for generations. Perfect for magicians. These durable plastic squeakers produce an unmistakable loud squeak sound. Oh, dear me. That's the sort of thing that will drive Lloyd insane, I imagine.
7 quid, though. Or fucking, sorry, 5 quid. Fuck.
Okay, so Instant Wheels has just come out. Have you seen that, Lloyd?
No, what is it?
It's a little bit here. Let me show you the. Let me put the link in the chat, and you can have a look at it. It's only a 40-second long trailer. This is one that a lot of people that like visual close-up magic for Instagram have been talking about recently. It only came out a couple of days ago. There's the link in the chat. Have a look at that and narrate that for us, Lloyd.
Okay. Instant wheels. Oh, this has been out before, is it?
No, I don't think so. I think the Magic, no, Bizarro put something out like this. But
Yeah.
it wasn't with a phone. I don't think.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
exactly like the
okay.
one Bizarro put out, but with a phone instead of a notebook.
Yeah.
So you draw a picture of a car on your phone, on your notes. So you got a blank note, you draw a picture of a car at a stoplight in the notes. Then you can drag the car off, and like card to phone, it becomes a real paper, like folded car. Then you tap the paper folded car, origami style with like some black lines on it, and it becomes a real toy car. Man, why did they do, unless they have permission from Bizarro, they literally could have made anything, any other object than the exact object that Bizarro made. I mean, even then it was still in copying, but fucking hell, that's a bit egregious, isn't it? Am I jumping the gun on this, or
No, I
am
don't think
getting
so.
it from the wrong point of
Remember
view?
the Bizarro? I do remember the Bizarro trick. I do
Yes,
remember it.
and it's quite it's a really unique thing. So the only thing they've changed is the notepad, and instead of it being paper notepad, it's your notes on the screen.
Yep.
And like, they could have done a fucking toy boat, little sailboat. Could have done a toy rocket ship. Do you know what I mean? They could have done fucking anything other than that.
This is gonna be on Temu within seconds if it's not already on fucking Temu. Like, this just screams to me like the sort of shit that you just see scrolling through if you look up magic tricks on like AliExpress. That this is the sort of shit that they would just fucking cream over. This sort of shit, probably done in terrible quality. But let me tell you, that's some fucking social media shit if I've ever seen it. Like, I'm surprised if this isn't out already or if it's been out. The amount of you'll notice when it's on, everybody does it on Instagram. When everybody's fucking doing that same shit on Instagram with the person, by the way, here, right? Not in front of them, but right here, and they're drawing it out and they're reacting. I don't know if that's if you guys enjoy that aesthetic. It's my fucking it's my I was gonna say something that's very offensive, but it's my the most offensive thing you could say to me is showing me a video of somebody performing a magic trick for the camera and they're right here and they're reacting. It drives me up a fucking wall. Pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. Yeah, but I mean, the thing is, no one said anything about that. I think it's gone under the radar, but I always think to myself, a lot of this stuff that we question and we go, "Oh, I can't believe somebody's brought out that." I just think to myself, if I'd brought out that, there'd be fucking World War III on the internet at this point. Spring Patches copied Bizarro. Motherfucker must die. Go get your pitchforks. Go get the paraffin. Let's burn this motherfucker to the ground. It's like, but you know, I'm volatile.
Well, that's the shitty part about sharing your opinion online is that you kind of have to be pristine or as close to it as possible, because the moment that you like fuck up in any way, which it's inevitable. There you go. Look at that. That's the most homoerotic cup I've ever seen in my entire fucking life.
What? Can you see it? I can't see anything.
Yeah, what is that? It's just a yellow sort of sun.
Yeah, exactly.
John Cena from 2002. But that's the shitty part about being in your position, that when you share your opinion, you have to fucking sort of acknowledge the fact that people are going to be looking and nitpicking at absolutely everything that you put out and say. And the moment that something is a little bit off, they're going to fucking take full advantage and go, "Oh, well, haha, Mr. Magic Reviewer, how about this?" You know, and it's like, well, okay, sorry, I'm human. I fuck up too. We all take shits.
Yep.
The unfortunate downside of this.
And
upside, but
people change things around on a dime, unfortunately. But yeah, that was with the whole Red situation. When I left the Magic community because of Red, I was the guy that was ripping tricks apart, and I was on the Wizard product review going, "You've copied this, you motherfucker!" So when I actually ended up copying something, that was like, right, let's get this twat and burn him to the ground.
yeah, but man, it's just so easy in Magic, though, man. It's fucking very easy, and And granted, even something that you might be familiar with, we don't have infallible memory. So it's happened to me so many fucking times when you think, oh, I've made something up, I've invented something. And then it turns out that, yeah, you've had a conversation with someone. And granted, people do it maliciously, where they will rip off your idea that you just mentioned in a convention. And then suddenly it's a product a year later. Okay. But it is entirely possible for you to misremember a conversation, think that, oh shit, wait, this is a clever idea, put it to market, and then not realize that you're stepping on toes. So it works both ways, but it is shitty regardless. When it does happen, I'm sure it's happened to everybody to some
Oh,
extent.
it's fucking happened to me a thousand times. I have like my I say new, but like it's the way I've been thinking for years that whenever I create something now, I assume 100% that it's been done before. Like I absolutely assume it's been done before, and my job is to then track down who created it, or if it was something that I'd created and spoken about before, if that makes sense. I go with full blown confidence that the trick already fully exists, and my job is to exhaust every avenue tracking down who did it first. Because and only then when I get to the point of like, okay, I cannot find if I spoke to someone about this or if it's been released or anything anything akin to that, then do I proceed cautiously forward with a release. And that's only if people want my rules for releasing are people have to ask me to release it or when's it coming out, and then it's like, okay, that's probably worthy of being a product. And I think having that attitude is so much healthier, because the amount of people that create something and just assume that it's never been done before, and then when they find out, they either get upset or extremely defensive. Well, really, I was having a chat with somebody the other day. In fairness, they did take it well, but they thought somebody who's very unversed in the realm of ACANs thought they'd created a brand new ACAN, and it was just one of the most common solutions to the ACAN that everyone doesn't even create. They learn. And I was like, sorry, man, this is like super unoriginal. And I also like, if you do this, this, and this, it'll actually these are the improvements to make it better. But like for like a topic like the ACAN, like even like me and Craig and probably you were so obsessed with it, the healthiest way to approach anything in general, but especially like hot topics like the ACAN, is assume that it's all been done before, and your job, if you think you've created something, is just to track down who did it before you. And only if you cannot find, after you've exhausted every avenue, then gingerly proceed forward.
Yeah, man, it's a shit.
And don't get upset when someone says, yeah, it has been done. You got, fuck, okay, well, cool.
Yeah, the amount of stuff I've been, I've found out somebody else has done it first.
Sucks. Fucking sucks when you're like, oh, I've had this idea for years, and then somebody who happens to share a very similar name to you has something that they've been working on that's absolutely unbelievable and amazing and the perfect version of that thing. Fucking Lloyd.
Oh yeah.
The other day talking about that shit. Like, oh, I had this idea that nobody's done before. It's wonderful. It's great. It's novel. It's fucking, and then you go, well, I got shown this. And then we call the guy and he's like, yes, here it is. It's good. I'm like, fuck, fucking perfect. Fucking immaculate. It's everything I've dreamed of in an effect. But unfortunately, that's magic, man. And it's every industry, I feel. I imagine if you're making music, you're like, oh, dude, I came up with this riff. And then great, you just reinvented the Rude Sandstorm. Like some fucking very common song. Oh, great. You remade Don't Stop Believing. What a fucking original guy you are. Like it's in every industry, I figure, but for ours, it just hits hard because it's a creative art. It's a creative art. And, even with knowledge of fucking just, at least for me, 26 years of virginity, you do have things that fall through the cracks. And I'm not aware of, nobody's aware of whatever's 100% of what's available. So there's going to be those. But I do think that it's still shitty, though, when it's different enough and it's still taken as, well, no, this is this person's, because in magic, I think that there's nuance and there's subtlety and It's not black or white. It's very gray. And people are very, very defensive about things that they've come up with, despite it being variation of something else. So I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
happen to agree that it's like, there should be some wiggle room there. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. What? Yeah. Let me compose my thoughts. What do you think, Lloyd?
I'm messaging a manufacturer or something. I don't know what the fuck you said.
I was gonna say, yeah, I feel like Lloyd's in a different stratosphere right now. You're out here looking
he's
through
mentally zoned out. I know Lloyd long enough to know that he's mentally zoned out at this point.
What was the question? Just summarize the question real quick, and I'm back.
It wasn't a question. What it was is a statement saying that in Magic, it's unfortunate that people are so defensive over the ideas that they've come up with, even though more likely than not, it's a variation of something else. That you would expect that when you come up with something that's maybe a different take on it, that they'd be a little bit more open to, okay, you could release it, especially if it's a product that's been out forever.
Yeah, I think it's different strokes for different folks. You find some people are much more relaxed about it, and some people, because for some people, they don't have any other ideas bar one.
It's all they have.
Two.
Yeah.
It's all they have. So they wrap it in cotton wool and they want to keep it all to themselves, which is fair enough. Like, I get it. And for some people then are a lot more open source on it. And also depends on the idea. Like there's some things that are super unique, and sometimes they put out initial versions of it where they have the release and they let it breathe for a couple of years, and then they want to put out the V2 version. And so they're still money in the pot on it, so to speak.
What's your what would you say is a very unique trick? Like what would be an example that you would think of that's like very,
Lux.
very unique?
Lux.
Okay. That's funny. You suck your own cock there.
Well, no, it's because that's what I'm familiar with. Let me think, outside of my own work.
Repo.
What's that?
Tobias's key and chain thing.
Yeah, or optics even. Optics as well. Optics is super unique, right?
Yeah, that has to be, I think, trick of the fucking
And if someone was
century.
to approach him and be like, right, I've got a slightly different foam gimmick for the
But it
Vanish.
also depends on the definition of unique. Like, look at the Atomic deck. That's an ACAN. But I don't think anybody would have even considered going and taking the approach that we did with the Atomic deck. It's a unique approach to that plot, but it's not a unique plot. It's not a unique plot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said Lux, is because like it's quite like there's not like it's quite
There's
like
nothing
the concept of it. It's not
murdered
like,
me. The first time you showed it to me in Blackpool, I remember I was like, what the fuck? I was thinking of like 800 different things. I'm like, I was thinking even for a hot second that maybe the thing was projecting an X. And I'm like, how the fuck is he so stable that he could project this X on my hand and not
a
move?
lot of people thought it was projecting an X was one of the initial methods. It just didn't work because it shakes so much.
Well, yeah, anybody would fucking be, oh, look, the X is on your hand. It's like, no, it's not, you fucking idiot. It's obviously coming from the lamp. But it
you
murdered
can buy
my
like
ass.
little UV pens that say fake for £5 notes.
Yeah,
UV
dicks to
fake,
have
but
them.
but it shakes like you could never get away with it looking like it was written on the skin. But yeah, so I say something like a Lux, which is super unique concept. Which there's a bunch of things out there that are like that.
I think you said it. Tobias is definitely on the forefront of creating.
Well, his whole melting liquid stuff. Yeah, you're right. Like the liquid ring
beautiful
thing. Yeah, it's super unique to him. So if someone was to be like, some creators, if they're done with like, for example, I know they're done with like the whole UV Lux stuff, and like that whole ghost system material that I had, where it's like slowly fades out and it's visual. I'm not nowhere near done with all of that work. So for that, like I would be, if someone, when people have come to me, but they have multiple times to say, I'm like, unless they're using it in a different context entirely, I'm like, well, sometimes they come to me and they say, can they put something out with it? And it's literally one of my ideas already. It's like, actually, I have work on this. Like, it's just not released yet. I've only put like V1 out. So for some creators, they're probably the same as me, where they've already explored the idea that someone asks for permission on, or they've already got it in the bag. So it's kind of like in those situations, you don't want to be a dick and say no, but it's also like, dude, it's already done. Like and in some situations they come and it's like, it's so different that you're like, hey, I would never have thought of using it in that way. Have at it, which I'm also granted like fucking dozens of permissions for. So so there's a lot of context that comes into it, I think. But some
What a
people
little
are just
teaser.
dickheads as well. Some people are dickheads and they come up with stuff which is derivative anyway, and they try and hold on to that. And it's like, look, I'm coming to you out of courtesy, but if you really want to get into it, yeah, it's not really yours.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Yeah, okay. But with Lux specifically, that's interesting because I never thought that there would be other stuff. I thought it was just one and done.
Yeah.
You gotta show me that, man. Fuck.
Okay.
Okay.
On that subject, Lloyd, do you think that like one thing, it's not on the subject, it's slightly varying off it, but it's kind of adjacent. One thing that I know that you've done over your career is stand up for people that you feel have been downtrodden in this community, and I've seen you do that.
Speak for yourself. You're pretty damn good at that.
But I've done that as well. We both have. And I believe that if you have a certain position in this community where your voice is heard, you should try to stand up for something if you think it's right and shine a light on it. And in the past, I've had people in the community say, oh, Craig just likes getting into trouble. He just likes causing controversy. Whilst you know me better than almost anyone, Lloyd, you know that that's never been the case. That's always
plagues your life. The entire time the controversy is ongoing, it affects you really hard.
Yeah. And as it really does. I don't like getting into controversy, but also I don't like being the guy that like could have done something to help and didn't.
Yeah, same. Yeah, I mean, there are some people who just don't. You have to remember, right? For us, it's magic is eat, sleep, breathe, shit it. It's our world. It's our social lives. It's our everything. For some people, magic is escapism to get away from the shit that goes on in life. So they come into it, they're looking for a cool new trick to take out and show to their kids, their friends, their family going down to a bar or a restaurant, whatever, or work in the office. They're looking for the light. And then they go to pick up a new trick, and they're really excited about it. And suddenly they're put off by it because there's all this drama, there's all this hatred and negativity. And he did this, he called me that, he said this. Well, actually, it's a stolen trick. And I get it, right? They look at it, and they're thinking, this was supposed to be my little sanctuary. Magic's supposed to be my little piece of heaven to get away from daily politics and everything. And they're all fucking bitching and arguing with each other, and there's a really, really vicious, toxic side to magic where people sometimes they don't use them, but most of the time they use pseudonyms to attack people. There are literal death threats being made over magic tricks, fucking death threats being made over magic tricks, yet to you, to other people. So some people don't want that. So they say loudly, hey, fucking cut it out. I'm coming here because I want to buy a new magic trick and have fun or learn some cool secrets. You think about the people that are on the peripherals of magic that would find Scam School or my YouTube channel, and they're just there to learn and become magicians. And then they see this whole, it's like the bricks and minifigs saga. Have you been following that with fucking Reckless Ben? I didn't know that fucking world of Lego could exist. I just thought it was something for like 8-year-olds to play with, or like people who are interested in it to make sculptures and models. And you find out that this whole like underground ring of conspiracy, and what I mean. Like if I was a budding Lego enthusiast, I wouldn't want anything to do with that. And if I had any platform to speak on it, I'd just say, I mean, not so much the Reckless Ben situation. What's happening to him is bad, but in general, it's like you'd be like, oh, shut the fuck up and just let me build my fucking Millennium Falcon. You know what I mean? So I get it. There's some people that just don't want anything to do with it. There's some people that are on the wrong end of it or have caused the drama. I just want it to go away. they want it to go away because if
On
I
the
lose
flip
all the
side,
Sega.
I've spoken to a lot of people about this podcast, and I know we joke about it not being popular. It is, both as a podcast and also as a YouTube video. And one of the things that
Now more than ever.
now more than ever, thanks to the inclusion of the Cuban Egyptian love god himself. However, one of the things that people say they love about this is it gives them a glimpse into the world of magic that you don't normally see. Because let's be honest, Lloyd, you and I and Pigcake have been in this industry for a long time within this side of magic. This is the side that most people don't see. And we openly talk about what's going on in the community and is this correct? Is this wrong? Is this right? Is this not right? And a lot of people like that we're openly discussing that, and we're openly discussing what's good and what's bad in magic and what's kicked off and so on and so forth. And is this right? Is this acceptable? That's why a lot of people listen to this shit.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
the
unfortunate, man.
biggest
It really is.
for me, the biggest feedback I get, like from so a lot of people like my tutorials, for example, like that I teach original material, and a lot of people get their start in magic from finding my channel.
Oh yeah.
And then the second lot of like feedback that I get is to do with how like people like me and you like try and stand up for the community. Like that's the second. Like, oh, I love hearing you like defend people, because we do have a platform. And I do believe that if you have a platform where other people don't, and you see them being victimized, that you use it correctly. And if that when people throw mud, use it to build fucking huts. And when people, and I know that some people don't like it. I just can't sleep at night. In school, I always stood up for the kids that got bullied because I can handle myself, and I'm a bit of a fucking loudmouth as well, So I've always had that protective instinct. I don't know what it is. I think daddy issues. I don't have a father, so my mum was a single parent working 2 jobs. I've always sort of looked out for her. I remember when I was 9, my grandparents would play the lottery for me every week, £1, and when I won like £180 once, and I gave it straight to my mum to pay the bills. But like, I've always tried to like look out for other people. I couldn't sleep at night seeing shit go down against someone unjustly and not speaking up for them. I don't know. I think I know some people find it easier to not get involved, which is cool because that's up to them. But I can't. I just can't. So fuck it. I'm gonna do it either way.
Yeah.
No, in Magic, it's even worse because these fucking nerds. It's nerds out here sending death threats and fucking, taking pot shots from the shadows. Like it's even worse. Like, what? If
Yeah.
it was like a mixed martial arts community, all right, whatever. Granted, you could probably kick some ass, but in Magic, it's like some fucking loser saying some shit from the shadows without any knowledge of anything whatsoever. But the other side of the coin is, you come in to this art sort of like enthusiastic and you leave disillusioned after seeing all the stuff in the back end. And especially if you try to get into the creative side, just how vitriolic magicians are. It's fucking awful. But then again, that's just in every industry. It's just us, or especially you guys seeing the back end and being a part of that back end, that you get to see all this other stuff that people don't usually see as consumers.
But is it worse in magic than it is in other industries? I would argue that it is.
I think it is.
Hard that I'm not interested in other industries. I'm not this deep in it.
No.
Well, like other stuff, like I'm in a little bit of a foray into watches and cigars and knives and stuff that I'm a big fan of. You see the same sort of like vitriol, I guess, for lack of a better term, but there's less sort of creativity, because when it comes to knives, what else can you do? When it comes to watches, what are you fucking you're talking about movements, like, okay, whatever. Cigars, different wraps and stuff, but in Magic, it's a creative field, and it's so ripe with people that are enthusiastic about showing what they have to offer, and immediately it's shot down by other people that are just fucking jealous or worried that their star might be fading. And it's just ego. We were talking about it last week when it comes to, you're constantly hearing, oh my God, you're the best I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody better than you. You haven't seen anybody other than me. So but that still sticks with you as a person who's probably fucking dumb, as a magician who's used magic as a social lubricant. And it's, I always say it, be a person first. Be a person first and a magician second, and that'll help your magic. Believe it or not. It's not going to help in sleight of hand, but it is going to help in presentation.
Well, it is going to
You
help
know?
in sleight of hand. Because if people trust you and relax around you, you can get away with a lot
Mm.
more. If they don't and they don't
Yeah.
like you, they're going to burn you and try and call you out. It does help. One thing I'll say is that in other industries and in other cultures, so you know how like they say, no, and I don't want to speak on a term, but they say the general consensus is that like everything gets ripped off by China. So I was reading a news article on tech and the Chinese tech culture, and again, this is from a news article or a little overview thing. So they could have the complete wrong end of the stick, but it's not as frowned upon in the culture of technology to see something and replicate it and try to improve it, even if it's incremental, like a 1 degree improvement. And so there's not, so there doesn't seem to be, and again, this is only from the article that I read, it doesn't seem to be as like, there's not a witch hunt for every time this is done. Whereas in magic, there is a witch hunt cause, and potentially rightfully so, depending on how egregious the theft is. But I think some people come into magic and they don't understand the nuances to the culture of magic and the history / like respect sort of or honor system that comes with it. So they come into it with a baseline understanding of, okay, if something exists technology wise or maybe pharmaceutical wise, and I think that's a great starting point, but it could be improved by making this one tweak, then that's my own, which is somewhat in some circumstances acceptable. I know in like the smartphone world, there's like a lot of lawsuits to do with who come up with the slide to unlock or certain features, right? But as a general overview, somebody comes into magic with the understanding of, hey, okay, well, in other technologies and art forms, people will take an existing thing, improve it slightly, and reproduce it with that improvement to help. You do that in magic without permissions, you're almost certainly going to get crucified. So I can understand in a context of that they just don't understand the nuances with this field, you know?
Is that what would happen in magic? Yeah, that'd be crucified. But like, what would you think, for example, if somebody comes out with a pad, right? Let's just say like a digital impression pad, and somebody else a year down the line comes out the exact same pad, however, with optimized technology, so a better chipset, something that makes it faster and more seamless to use. Maybe it uses an updated Bluetooth, whatever the fuck. How would you feel about that?
I think it's a bit of a slightly different thing because it kind of is happening already with the digital impression pads and like the peak devices. They're all super similar. I don't know who the first of the was it who was the very first one? Not Labco, was it, or something? I don't know. But somebody was first to do it.
It was. Oh, it doesn't matter. I remember. I can't remember.
It kind of does matter, but the point I'm making is that like it's I think because it's so heavily tech based, that I don't know. I mean, I'm not in that zone, so I can talk on it in a sense, but it doesn't seem to be as much police in there. Because I don't know if suppose that like in that context, right? Possibly it's the fact that the consumers genuinely want the most up-to-date, best version possible, and they don't give a fuck who's producing it because like, look, cool, but you got it, but they got more features, more improvements, and better pricing. I'm going to them. Whereas if it was like a nuanced, if somebody came up with Optics by Tobias Dostal, and maybe it was a little bit cheaper, and they had a slight improvement on it, the overall concept is known to be Tobias Dostal's. Whereas with those pads and similar tech to that, I know there's an originator, but for some reason, And I think maybe because of the overlap in tech culture from like the Chinese overlap culture, that it's not the honor policing isn't as strict on that.
Mhm.
Maybe.
I think that's going to be a thing ongoing now with how prevalent it is. Because, 10 years ago, this wasn't a fucking issue. It was so expensive to come up with anything tech based. Whereas now I think, now it's a little bit more expensive because of fucking AI. So I don't know if have you tried to buy a fucking hard drive in the past year,
Yeah,
dude?
if you've got a bit in there, 20% or
Of that fucking dude, I was looking at a 2 terabyte hard drive when Peter was here. It was $1,500
for a
a 2
solid
terabyte.
state.
Yeah, one of these,
Fuck
same
me.
exact disc, same disc. This that I bought for about I think $190 was $1,500.
Do you fill that up and then offload it once you're done onto just a normal hard drive?
No, I'm an idiot. I buy another hard drive.
Just buy a normal external hard drive.
I
Use that for
know.
editing and then offload
Yeah.
it. It takes like 10, 20 minutes and it's done. One thing I'd say is that like I think part of that problem is tying an identity to a concept. So
Yeah.
like my identity is tied to a lot of the concepts that I've come up with, like with Tobias Dostal and things like the Atomic Deck by Craig and the Quantum Deck by Craig Pay is an identity attached to the new concept, or loosely new concept, as we could say, because there's nothing new. And then you hear about this like digital impression pad. You don't hear of it. It's like, oh, digital impression pad by Mr. Joe Blogs. It's not, there should probably be, if I was gonna come up with some brand new technology, maybe I would like sound not for the sake of being egotistical, but to protect its IP, potentially like call it my name, or something along those lines. Like I don't know, what if it's like I don't know, some fucking
The Barnes pad.
Yeah, like or yeah, it uses Barnes seeking technology. I would, you know what I mean? But then next, whoever comes up with it next, it's like how iPads, fucking everyone calls tablets iPads.
Yeah.
I remember that, like that news company, they were using the Microsoft pads, and it was a news station in America, and they've been paid millions to use the Microsoft ads.
Surfaces.
And
Yeah.
and every time until they got called up, they were like, "Oh, I've just been reading here on my iPad about XYZ. I've been reading here on my iPad," and they just reference them constantly as iPads because that's what tablets are called. So
when the company name has become a verb, that you fucking nailed it. Like, you don't search for something on the internet, you fucking Google it.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's Kleenex. Like instead of using a tissue to wipe up your fucking cummies, use
it's
a
a
Kleenex.
Kodak moment.
Yes,
Kodak
Kodak.
moment was a genius piece of branding. So yeah, like, I mean, the best way to protect it is just to be first to market. And then that's what sort of annoys me a lot with all like this influx of all these derivative apps. My thinking is always be first to market with something unique. If not, you're just arguing over the scraps.
Yeah, the app market. I mean, I don't get many apps, but the app market seems to me like to be the wild fucking west. Like there doesn't seem to be the level of policing with apps as there are with the general Magic community. Like, I could bring out a trick, and people would go, "Oh, well, this is this and this and this, and you can see it's this and this and this, and I hope he's got credit for this and this and this." Well, with an app, that's not the case. It seems like nobody ever references past apps, and app developers can do what the fuck they want.
The good ones do, like the Kirstein's and stuff do. But what I think it is, I think the reason a lot of these apps are just slipping by uncalled out is because no one gives a fuck.
Well, also,
Straight up,
what I've
because
realized,
if you're not first, sorry, so like the reason I think the large proponent as to why my apps sell in the thousands is because I'm I try to be, I can't think of an instance where I'm not, but where it's the first of its kind. I'm not interested in doing something that anyone else has done because they are just squabbling over the scraps then, So
Yeah.
I think when it comes out, it's a derivative version of a derivative version of a derivative version. there's no point in going to war with someone over something that's going to sell 10 copies.
Yeah, you're 100% right. What I was gonna say, which is weird, I was talking to a buddy of mine, Ferris, who's dick deep in the sort of app ecosphere of Magic. And what's odd is that there are so many back end apps, like that aren't trick forward but are back end. So they'll connect this app to this app, and it's a weird ecosystem. And you have it on Facebook that these groups are just massive back and forth. And it's something that I'm completely unaware of because, you know, I'm not necessarily a fan of phone stuff. I'm a fan of the technology that goes behind it. But like all these apps that people know that I've never, like Wingman by Mark Lemon, you know, and things like he was showing me these other things that connect all these other apps. So Inject will connect to this app, and then that'll talk to Glyph, and then Glyph, and it's just crazy to me that a lot of these apps are not necessarily like overt. Like, for example, your stuff, Lloyd 6 Pro, it's like a very definitive, it's not an app, right? But there's some stuff in the back end. It's this, right? It's a lotto trick. Bam. There's apps that are not even visible. They're just connectors between one platform and a different platform.
I just think it's like rabbit hole stuff where people like with apps, they play with them. There are some working magicians that really utilize them well. Don't get me wrong, like Charlie Hewish and Oz Perlman.
David Penn.
Yeah, that you really utilize technology well. I think, and it's the same as I go extreme with gimmicks probably as well in cards. So I'm sort of, you know, I understand the obsession point. But for me with apps, I don't know, it's probably an entirely separate podcast, but if it's just pure technology that talks technology, that talks technology, that talks technology, on at least the very first point, is like doesn't interest me at all. I just don't think, if it can't be magical at like boom, that's what it is, and it fucked you up. I don't know. I just think it's a lot of overkill often, and like I said, some people use it really fucking well.
There's a whole life and world of like that we're not aware of. You know, at least me personally, or I think a lot of people, just because of the sort of clandestine nature of these, even though there might be apps that are available in the market, like on the actual app store. It's fucking wild to me, man. And he was showing me all these connection apps and all these things, and bro, things that gestures that he makes with his hands that cause certain like voice act. I'm like, what? How the fuck?
I suppose there's something for everyone, isn't there? Like,
yeah. But I was gonna say, I remember years ago, Blackpool, Saturn Magic showed me that phone trick, and I thought this was like the end of it, right? Just the absolute fucking limit of the stretching of this technology, which is that phone trick where you mention a celebrity, and then he goes, "Oh fuck, man, dude, he's been calling me nonstop," and then within 10 seconds, your phone's ringing, and this celebrity that you just named at random ends up calling and FaceTiming you. I don't know if you remember that app.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah,
I'm not a fan of that one, to be perfectly honest.
No, same.
Really? Why not?
Because it's so unbelievable. It's not.
I think as a gag, it works fine.
As a joke, I think it's fine, and I'm sure it's got good reactions, but it doesn't quantify as magic. It's not magic.
Yeah. But I think it's immaculate as a gag. At least me. Again, you guys have, you know, probably a difference in opinion. That's probably correct. But for me, I loved it just as a gag. Like, it's so funny to me. That's fucking, oh, you're this guy's calling you, and then it starts fucking, the phone starts ringing, and it's that person. Right now, granted, the method could only be one thing, right? If I said, for example, Jimmy Savile, which I did in that example, just to throw him off, and Jimmy Savile starts calling him, I'm gonna think,
no wonder you loved it then.
Yeah, I know, it was great. But I try to throw him off. He's like, "Oh, just name a random celebrity," and I go, "Jimmy Savile," and then he goes, "Dude, Jimmy Savile's been calling me from the grave nonstop. I don't know how, you know, if he got a fucking SIM card from hell or whatever." And then Jimmy Savile starts calling him in 10 seconds. Right on his phone. He goes, "Look, Jimmy's calling me right now. He's calling me right now." I think as like speaking of David Penn, what he would call as like an in-betweener sort of effect. That it's like while someone's signing a card, you're doing a trick for somebody else just to kill that dead time. I think that would be brilliant. But that was again an example that I just said as my sort of understanding of like app-based magic, that's fucking nuts to me. Like that's fucking crazy. And then now that's just a fucking little drop in the ocean of what is, tech mag. People talking to their fucking watch. The fucking
Yeah.
app that
And
you just
you know what? I think what it is that for me, if it's going to use technology, whether that be a phone or some electronic thing, it has to be. I have to be able to open it after 6 months and immediately use it without having to think. That's what it has to be. So any of my apps that I put out, that I can open any single one of them right now and perform it. No having to go rewire it, connect it back to my watch, remember my some of them you have to remember the method, but I got to remember the what is the clock interface where I go swipe up, left, right, down 3-4 times, trip A B, start, stop, select. You know what I mean? It has to be, if I'm going to use tech, I have to be able to rely on me as much as the technology. And I think so when it comes to like, okay, you've got to connect this API to this API to that, and then to make it work in performance, you have to do this before you do this. Place the phone face down, then connect you. Make sure you both have good signal, then perform it. You know what I mean? When it gets to that point, and again, I'm not a gig magician, so if I was, and I could use that every gig and perform 10,000 hours with it, not going to be an issue for someone like that. For me, I perform sporadically, and I choose the best tool for the job for the best person, for the right person. So it could be one trick for here and a completely different trick for there. Has to be able, if it is technology based, because it can be so fallible, that it has to be super direct, very easy to do, and something I can open after a year, 6 months, 2 years, and just immediately do it with instant recall. And I think that's why those things like all the intricate connections and stuff just don't apply to don't interest or apply to someone like me. Now, don't get me wrong, I know some people crush with it, but me it doesn't.
What sucks absolute balls. Wow, look at that. Hey man, what's up? I'm fucking frozen, dude. I'm just a fucking still image of me complaining. What a fucking absolute nonce this fucking stupid camera is. But what I was gonna say in a brand new radio show that I'm fucking innovating on, is what sucks is how fickle it is now, dude. Like even iOS 27, fucking just throwing everything off. So your sort of ideal world of being able to have an app that you turn on and you could use within 6 months time, great, yeah, phenomenal. Realistically, no, because magicians are kind of their apps live on this exploitative world where you're taking advantage of things that these manufacturers aren't necessarily, like even Inject, right? Okay, great, a fake Google page that somebody goes in, you could get that information and send it to wherever you need. Cool, great. I don't think fucking Google's happy about that. So Google's going to be trying their best to prevent apps from replicating, their IP. And now you're battling that constantly. So it's almost impossible now in 2026 for you to be able to get an app and then 5 months later turn it on and then think that it's going to work 100%.
That's like with my ones, like they're web-based for the majority of them now, which means that you don't need updating. Like the 6 Pro, that Vespa thing that I was showing you the other day. Don't talk about it.
You have to tell me
stuff like
because
that.
you're not blab.
But they can't update in someone's iOS or Android isn't going to fuck them up at all because it's just basically a website. And the things that do have apps now, I'm sort of stepping away from native app replica, like calculators and stuff. Right, we did Cypher originally and Tempest. I'm sort of stepping away a little bit from that because now if it does require an app, it's usually in terms of you get just to get the peak from it, which means it's sight unseen. So generally, it'll just have an API or it'll speak to a server, and it'll just display information, or you can send information, which means it's not seen by the spectator. And generally, that means the update in iOS won't affect it because of like webhooks or connection points in the back end don't get affected by software updates. I think that's at least more of a user-friendly way of going forward, or better for longevity's sake going forward.
Yeah.
From my approach to them.
These developers have to be shitting every time like a new update comes out. Like even this, that's just like an improvement update that I would say iOS 27 is. It's not necessarily like a brand new, but what's to say that iOS 28, they don't just decide to go, you know what, we're going to remake again all these fucking design elements and fuck everything up. And, you know, a lot of these apps are based on, yeah, the back end might work fine, but the front end, the visual elements might be completely thrown off by any sort of, it sucks. So you have to be really on top of that. And also the consumers are really fickle too, because imagine you paid $150 for this fucking app, and within a year's time, it looks completely outdated. So it's going to be up to that developer, who, by the way, already made his money, to now have to go and fucking work on it, despite him not having any income coming in from that app. Because, you know, you get a wave of sales, you sell them, and then unless you go through a subscription model, you're fucked. Like, what incentive do I have as a person that maybe came up with an app a year later to keep updating it when I've already fucking made it? It's such a shitty thing to say, but unfortunately it's true, that now they have no incentive to keep it updated unless, you know, it's reputation based. So you don't want your rep thrown in the mud. So it's very, very hard to keep up with that.
My rep has been, because I worked for certain companies when I was putting apps out, and then they discontinued the app support completely out of my hands. But of course, if it had my name on it, it would be fuck Lloyd Barnes. And I wouldn't be able to even access the back end to build the app, and certain things would be discontinued. And yeah, I had to make statements in the past, like, yo, I'm so sorry, like I have zero, I don't even own the rights to that app. And other people have chosen to discontinue updating it.
Sucks. It
Yeah.
sucks, but
Yeah.
it's 2026, man. That's magic in 2026. It's now your little back end. Oh, look. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just thinking, imagine going back 30 years, 20 years, 30 years, and telling the magicians 20, 30 years ago that you're going to buy a magic trick. It's probably going to cost a few £100. And there's a very good chance that one day you won't be able to use it, not because you've lost it, not because it's broken, just because the person who made it decided to not help you being able to carry on doing it anymore. Like, it's nuts when you think about it. And that's when I've spoken to people about apps, the thing that they worry about the most is, oh, what happens if it's
Ongoing support.
Yeah, and let's be honest, let's call a spade a spade. Illusionists are a big part to play with that because of what they did with the apps a while ago. That's when people started talking about that. They're not the only
shit.
but you know, I know every app that you've ever bought out is going to be supported until the day that you die. I know that every app that
every app that I personally bring out.
Yeah, that you personally bring out. There's apps that you've got.
I cannot control the apps that have been released by companies I work for.
Yeah.
I can have a say and ask, but.
And Kirstein's another. You know that he's going to be fucking continuing to support those apps until the day that he dies. But unfortunately, not everyone's the same, and that's giving that whole kind of subgenre of the industry a bit of a bad name. That and the fact that now with the rise of AI, people can make their own apps without needing to get a coder, without needing to get an expert. They can make their own apps. So now every single fucking mother and their brother is fucking bringing out an app. I'm gonna do a magic app. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be little ChatGPT. Make me a magic app, please. And it's done. You're seeing a metric fucking deluge of shitty apps coming out. Every good app, and I think Mosaic is good. Lloyd's apps are good. Anything Kirstein puts out is good. There's good apps out there. But for every good app, there's a dozen shit ones. And unfortunately, a lot of the general public in the magic industry, they see the shit ones and they think they're all shit, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay, though. That's okay, because I do think the cream of the crop rises to the top.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're Slim Shady. The cream of the crop rises to the top. I'm Lloyd Barnes, motherfucker. Could go fuck a sheep.
No, I'm not talking about my own, but like Kirstein has the best made apps, and they're always gonna do well because he's goated. He is probably the app building goat. And so no matter how many bad apps come out by that are rip-offs or shitty made or bad ideas, which is that's the most egregious thing for me. I think next to the rip-offs is the bad ideas that come out. But you're always gonna hear Mark above the white noise.
Yeah, you are.
You know,
Penguin told me last time I was with them that they've just got out of the app building game. They dabbled with it. They bought a couple of little apps out when everybody was doing it, but they've kind of made the decision. Nah, it's not for us.
I think that's fair. I think it's Sorry.
No, I was gonna say what's fucking lame as a magician, right? I hate to be such a fucking king virgin, but people care too much about this and that. It's the effect that matters at the end of the day, right? It's what they're presented with, and to them, it's the same as like a new toy. It's like, okay, great, I have this a different way to do the same thing, which is reveal a piece of information or have something to be able to reveal a piece of information, and then now it becomes a reliance on that, whereas it's the method now becomes the effect, right? And it's like, okay, great. What the fuck does that mean? That means that the effect is going to be shit because you're not really focusing on it. You're putting more attention to the method, which is just a shitty way of approaching things. But
I tell you who's good. I tell you who's good at that. This is what annoys me. And whenever if I have jam sessions with people, some people will come to me with a method for a thing. I'm like, oh, I don't care about the method. Start with the effect. Just and forget your method. Stop trying to shoehorn your method in. Tell me what you want to do. And I'll tell you who's the king. Not the king, but one of my probably in my eyes, a little king is Jake Keen. He creates tricks and apps, and a lot of apps from the effect first. So he just blank canvases, because he imagines how he would perform it in the real world, whatever it's going to be, whatever he wants to do, whether that's reading someone's mind in number, whatever the premise is going to be. He just imagines how it should look and then works backwards and then finds an exploit with an app or a method somewhere and fills in the blank. And that's why he put out what did he put out? Not ESP, like 2 years ago now, 18 months ago. Fucking rip-roaring success. And there were things that were kind of released around the same time that had similarities, but it smoked them because he came at it from a different point of view, different approach from the other people, and went off and sold hilarious amounts of units, and set him up for a long time. And I think the big difference is, if I was to break it down in like a post review, and be like, okay, well, here's the other things that are in a similar ecosystem. Why did this one, decimate the others? Well, I don't know how they created the other ones, but I'm 99.99999% certain Jake approached his back to front, and for that is why it was deceptive.
Which is the worst way to wipe, by the way, because you're gonna hit your nuts.
Yeah,
you're gonna fucking.
You get fecal matter in your vagina.
I was gonna say, oh yeah, me. But that's the right way to do it, though. I think that's the right way to approach anything. It's starting with the effect first, seeing what it is that they're, because method is irrelevant. It's whatever. There's a dime a dozen, but effects are rare to find a good novel one. And if you're coming in, which right now, as Craig was saying earlier, anybody and their mom could come up with a fucking app. Just say into it, oh, I want an app that does this. As a matter of fact, I remember my first example of that was something similar that you had, Lloyd, which is that remember that you're looking at the star signs and you find yours for a little while, then now you know what star sign that. I made an app like that within seconds on ChatGPT like a year ago, that I'm just like, oh, make me an app where it lets me know what the star sign is based on how long they've looked at it. So if they've looked at it for more than 3 seconds, that word gets put on the front page or whatever the fuck. And it was so easy, right? And that was without any thought whatsoever. So that just becomes ripe for, okay, now I'm just going to come up with something just because I could come up with something, rather than thinking of what they're seeing, rather than what's the end result, what's the effect that they're leaving with. And it's just now, it's come full circle to, I'm going to have a piece of information and I'm going to reveal it. That's it, without any sort of rhyme or reason or excitement. And I think that's shit.
Well, like with that horoscope one, for example, the big advancement, I think, was for Cognito, for the star sign revelation, was what I wanted was to reveal someone's star sign in the context of chatting about horoscopes. But the big thing was my takeaway. I wanted my takeaway for them to remember was that they never said it out loud, never typed it, never selected it, never even fucking looked at it or acknowledged it in any way. They only thought about it, and you knew what it was. So with Cognito, for example, you show them a couple of screenshots of horoscopes, and on each there's 4 screenshots. On each one, there's like 4 horoscopes. So there's a horoscope, say, for like Scorpio, Leo, Gemini, Pisces. The next one, it might be Virgo, Taurus, blah blah. And you'd say to them, look, I want to know, do you know how Barnum statements work and how they can apply to everyone? That's why people think they're horoscopes about them. So what I want you to do is get some horoscopes. Look for any one that's not yours. In fact, make sure yours is not even on the same screen. Like, you can't even see it. So don't even look at it, and read any one that's not your horoscope, and try and imagine that applying to yourself. And they read it and they go, yeah, does that apply to you? And they're like, yeah, like, that could have been any horoscope. It wasn't even yours. But that's how they work. That's why people believe in them so much. It's called a Barnum statement. And by that process alone, the act of them not looking at theirs tells the input secretly on the back end that theirs is not currently on the screen. Therefore, theirs is not the one they're looking at. Therefore, it is X. So it's like, it was clever. I don't want to say that arrogantly, but the cleverness was born out of what I wanted to end with. I didn't think I couldn't have come up with it. It's like the inverse binary is what I call it, the inverse binary principle. And it was the timer input then. So the fact that they were on that page longer than any other. So it was 2 things combined, but it was only born out of the end result. I couldn't have come up with it if I tried to work the method front to back.
Yeah. You started with a set of boxes that you want to put yourself in, and then that's what the solution was. And I think that that's fucking ace of a solution, because my goodness, like, it's just that back. And I again, Peter, I want to fight him every time I fucking see him. But he's kind of a big proponent of backwards thinking, looking at something from reverse. And then you'll find that there's a lot of innovation in just looking at something and thinking about it backwards, because it really takes you outside that box.
Yeah. There's a lot of apps out there that are like, oh, I want to reveal a word someone's thinking of. And I know that there's this technology that they can type something into a search bar and I can peek that on my phone. So I'll start with that. And then it's like, oh, instantly wrong. Instantly, for me at least, my personal taste, it's like that's the instant worst way of approaching it.
No, you're right. And I think we had a little discussion about that with, what we're talking about before.
With Vespa.
No, the other one. We're talking about that I was thinking, that's kind of what I had in mind. And then you said, no, let's not do that. And then you're 100% right, because the moment you're putting something, you're inputting. Now you're inputting information, and that input is something that it's hard to have them dismiss that. Whereas, like, for example, even having them write it down, they're more likely to forget it if you treat that as something to be dismissed. Whereas this is a very sort of memory focused thing. Very tangible, very overt.
Well, for example, with Cognito, it was kind of born from an experience of watching a mentalism show and then hearing them chatting afterwards at the bar, and the person, someone had their mind read for a word, and they were chatting to their friends. They're going, it was incredible. How do they know that? It was like, there's literally no way. They were freaking out. And then there was this moment where he went, well, I did write it down before the show, so maybe, and you could just see the moment that killed the magic. And I was like, and that was a big thing in my creative, that moment was a big thing in my creative career in general, because it helped me put certain building blocks in place of like, right, well, if I do want to ever reveal a word or X, Y, Z, then they must strictly never be written down, spoken out loud, said in any way, typed, isolated. Like, if I could create something that achieved that, then that's the type of material I want to be performing. So that when my spectators go home, they don't go, well, I did actually type it, or I did say it, or I did, X, Y, Z. I did look at it for an extended period. So, you know what I mean? Like, by having like lived experiences, and then starting back to front, it helps give birth to genuinely original ideas. And I'm not talking about myself. Like, you see the other apps that are good, that are out there, that are original, and it's pretty easy to see that or understand. Yeah, that could only have been created because they didn't start with the technology first or the method first.
The advice that you're giving now, though, is incredible advice away from apps. like just creating in general. One thing that I know that you do, that I've always tried to do as well, that I know a lot of creators don't do, is putting stipulations on yourself when you're coming up with the effect in the first place. So it's effect first, not method. And you say, right, okay, the quantum deck's a perfect example. On doing any card at any number with completely blank cards. I want every card to be blank except for the card. I want it to be a completely free choice of number, and I don't want to have to change the position of any card. I want them to name a number, and I just pick up and deal in the cards at that position. Those
Yeah.
were stipulations, because for me, that was what was important about your quantum deck. So this advice about creating stipulations and saying, well, it has to do this, it has to do that, that's incredible advice for anybody who wants to create in general, even outside of the sphere of apps.
I've always worked to that frame set. And some of that's born from consulting, where you get told, okay, this is X, Y, Z. But I think as well, I used to have this big like tirade against flap cards. That was like a big part of my identity as a creator, was fuck flap cards. I hate flap cards because
You still have that thing now.
Yeah, I still have it now. There's a period of time where people were coming up with releases. The method would be a flap card, or it'd be like a flap label or flap something, and they would kind of do well or get like heralded for it as a creator. I'm like, that's not creating. That is not creating. That's putting a different color on something that already exists. And I used to get so wound up when people would be described as a creator, but they weren't creating anything new. They were just changing the color. They were just changing the paint. And so I went on this big thing. That's why I created those change cards and a bunch of like the ghost system stuff and all this visual, like even like Lux to an extent it was like a big like, no. That's not creating. Like, if you're going to create something new, this is something new. And it's not just changing the color. I just get, yeah. And I think that sort of premise of whatever I approach now, I start from the same frame point of reference, which is like, okay, if I want to create something, I have to write down everything that exists already. And then each one of those is, I cannot use that method. So everything I know already, and often it's like the first 10 thoughts that come to my head, those are methods that I cannot touch because they've already been created. And the beautiful thing is, when you ban yourself from touching everything that exists already, generally what's left is blue ocean territory. The only thing you've got left is to discover something new. And when you have something new, you have this entire playground entirely to yourself. And if someone hasn't created it before, if it's like, if it's not in the top 10 list of pre-existing methods for a plot, then you can go fucking crazy and you can start to really explore freely because you're not infringing on anyone. Well, like when they come up with those change cards, these things, there was nothing else like it at the time. And I know it was marketed terribly, but because I was the first to do it in some way, I had over 200, I think I had 215 different prototypes of all these crazy effects. Only 5 ever saw the light of day. But because I could just have complete freedom creatively, because no one else had done it. And I think that's why I get so annoyed with people that like get upset when they find out their creation's been done before. They just blindly rip someone off. It's like, because if you had just put that much effort into the start of the process, and you hadn't infringed on, if you'd said, right, I like this idea, but I'm going to cross off these methods that I can't touch, spend an extra fucking 2 days, 2 hours looking for something that hadn't even been done before method-wise. Oftentimes, a lot of these plots are not very well explored because those first methods that exist, because they were the first to do them, no one's ever gone beyond that, right? So often it doesn't. It sounds like I'm talking like Billy Big Bollocks, but really it's because a lot of people don't try to look further past the methods that already exist, or they were the people that created those methods. So often you don't have to go very far creatively to come up with something new. So it pisses me off because I see them putting out. And I think if you'd just gone like that drawing app that turns into a origami car, then it turns into a toy car, right? Like Bizarro, as far as I know of, just generally off the top of my head, was the first person to do that. Those people could have spent one day thinking, how can we do something like this that doesn't use any of those methods in a completely unique way? And they probably would have come up with something objectively better, but at least unique. And then put that 99% of their effort into producing it.
I'll tell you
Instead, they're
why,
just
because-
instead they're just thrown into the trash pile.
I'll tell you why, because a lot of creators these days, you know, and I've talked about this before, when you come into this industry new, you very quickly realize that there's certain people within this industry that are held up on pillars. And those are the creators of all these wonderful tricks that you buy. And the amount of new magicians that come into magic and they go, I want to be a creator. Before they've got any experience in doing anything, they want to be a creator. They've been in magic 6 months and they want to be a creator. They've been in magic a year, they want to be a creator. And that's fine, and that's all well and good. But what that leads to is it leads to people creating magic without having the wealth of experience and knowledge that you have, without having the infrastructure of dozens of people that you can speak to and run ideas through and so on and so forth. And I remember speaking about this with Scott Alexander before he passed away. He said, it's such a big issue in this community. I'm willing to bet that there's somebody out there that has created and released a trick as a download that woke up in the morning, had an idea, filmed it in the afternoon, and it's on sale in the evening. And they've never tested it, they've never done anything, and it's out that quickly. And there's that I think we push people, and I'm guilty of it because I've done so many videos on my channel of, hey, anyone can be a creator, and I do believe anyone can be a creator, but I also think you need to take your time to do it. I think it needs to be, you don't get your first idea and rush it to market. Now, I know there's a certain irony with me saying that because I create and release a lot of magic, but you both know me well enough that for every trick that you've seen that's got my name on it, there's 20 tricks that haven't, because I took them out, I tried it in the real world, it didn't work, it got binned. I've got very strong quality control with my own stuff, but there's people out there that are just desperate to get a release. They're desperate to get a trick out, and they will just put anything out, and they don't care if it's been out before or how weak the effect is or isn't. You see it happening quite a lot.
It's funny because in some contexts you see certain creators that the only thing that's slow, like the good ones, are like a good song, a good songwriter can write a song, like, you know, like was it Dolly Parton? I think she wrote like Islands in the Stream, Jolene, and another song all in the same afternoon. All three of them, back to back, done. And there are certain creators like that. Like, I'm not in any way in this as a superstar league, but some of my best, most popular releases were 30-minute creations. The slowest part for some of those is either the manufacturing or the production of the video, because some ideas are just, they just get dropped into your head like a
Yeah.
and they're just done. But that comes with 10,000 hours of experience behind it.
I was going to say that the reason you can do that, the reason you can create something in half an hour, is because, one, you've challenged yourself to do it over and over again. When your YouTube channel first started and you were posting tutorials every week, you were challenging yourself in one day to come up with a trick and release it and put it up on YouTube that added value and that did something very, very unique. And you did that for years. You've trained yourself to be able to do that. And also, you've got a metric fucking ton of experience, not just with your own creations, but working with some of the biggest names in magic throughout the whole of the world that you've absorbed information from and learned from. You know, why are you such a good video editor? Because you studied at Peter McKinnon's, you know, you've got all of this experience and all of this knowledge, and that's why you can do something in half an hour. But then you have new people coming into magic that have been doing this for a year or 6 months, and they go, I can do that as well. I can have an idea and I can come up with it in 30 minutes and I can release it. But they haven't got the experience that you've got, and they haven't got the knowledge base to know if it's been done before or not.
There's certain people like yourself, like the Tobias Dostals, the Peter Turners, if they said, oh, yo, this idea is gold, ironically, it took me 20 minutes to make. But but it's still, I'd be like, cool, the time it took you is irrelevant to the quality of how good I know it's going to be. But there are some people you think, oh, okay, you got to make rent this month, or I've you know, I know you want to be known in the industry, and you go, well, you know,
That's the downside about nowadays, how easy it is to self-produce. There's an upside and there's a downside. The downside is, well, fuck. You know, it's unfortunate that it's going to be a lot of shit. But the upside is that now you don't necessarily have to go through a major company like you used to have to and be able to produce stuff. Whereas, you know, the unfortunate downside is you're going to fucking see just terrible shit that's already been done before, just time and time again for people that don't know any better. And it's a fucking shame,
Mhm.
but
The other thing that I know is rife in this community, and if I ever do this, I want you to take me out back and old yell at me, is because I did this in the old days when I was working with World Magic Shop. There was a lot of pressure on me to create my next trick. Okay, now create another trick, Craig. We're on to the trick, create another trick, create another trick, create another trick, bring out another trick. And that's ultimately, if I'm completely honest, where Red came from, I think. It came from the fact that I was under a lot of pressure to create another trick. And I think that when you become a successful creator and you have a trick that comes out that people like, there's a lot of people out there that are looking for that next hit
Yeah, the
because
whole second album.
their difficult second album. And I've been very clear. I was very clear with you when you worked with Murphy's. I've been very clear with Penguin, very clear with every company I work. Don't ever come to me and ask me for a trick. When I have an idea, I will come to you, having vetted it with people like Lloyd and Big Cake to say to you, honestly, do you think this is any good? I'm not going to be that guy where a company comes to me and says, create a trick. And I'm like, oh, okay, give me half an hour. I'm not going to do that.
milking you.
I will work on other products for other people if I think I can add value. But with my own creations, I'll come
Well,
to you.
that's why I created my YouTube channel, was to give back, because I had been put in that position where it was create something for us. We need a release. So and so has dropped the ball over and over again, just fucking squeezing that leche out of my
Yeah,
kidneys, Holmes. It was like, I hated it. So I was like, right, I'm just gonna give everything away as long as I can now, because I'm sorry.
It's so shitty because then it's your reputation, man. And that's
Mm.
unfortunately what we have in Magic, man.
Reputational roof over your family's head.
Well, the shitty part is
Mine was.
the context too. That the also the consumer doesn't understand that context, because I think they just see the product. They don't really care about the back end of it. And same thing that you were saying earlier about the lack of support on stuff that, for example, you worked on with other companies. It's like, oh, great, yeah, um, fucking great that my name's on it. And then now when people are no longer able to access this, particular thing, who's the one they're going to shit on? The one whose fucking name is on it, even though you have no affiliation with that company anymore. That was made under, the auspices of working with them. And it's up to them to keep up the support. But you're the one that gets the fucking, shitty message or fucking forum post. It's like, well, fuck, that's not the way it works. So the consumer sort of fucking mentality is just also very fickle and very fucking narrow-minded. But that's our
I don't think
industry.
it's narrow-minded. I don't think they're fully at fault if
No,
they
but
assume it on the surface. But once it gets explained, they
Yeah.
go, "Fuck you, we don't believe you." It's like, well,
yeah. Yeah.
I mean, but on the initial outset, I don't begrudge anyone from that came at me when the company said they weren't going to continue. Keep going with the
Well, luckily,
others.
that's not the case with the Fourth Floor and their wonderful, wonderful productions that are second to none. Lloyd, your
thank you,
brand new
baby.
endeavor, the hot fourthfloor.tv. Fuck, dude.
Well, it gets to do
Everything's,
things right. It gets to fix a lot of problems with the industry, and I get the because I'm good to saying it. So
Yeah,
hopefully,
I know from knowing you as well as I do, the biggest issue that you had with Murphy's, I know you loved Murphy's, and it was a hard decision to leave. And I know that you had a great time there in many, many ways. But I also know the thing that you found most difficult was not being the person that makes the final decision. You have a boss, you have somebody over you, and however you think things should be done, sometimes that was vetoed. And I know that you like being in a situation where, the only boss in your house is Kaylee.
yeah. I think the problem is as well with Magic being so nuanced, and as an act, I'm just part of the community, so I know there were certain decisions that were being made that were going to impact us, right, the magicians. So I'd say, hey, let's do this differently, or I don't think we should do this, or this is gonna like piss off a lot of people, or I just personally don't agree with this on a larger scale. And sometimes those sometimes tell fuck off, kick rocks. Not offensive. They weren't offensive, but it was like, well, we don't see it from that. And again, it's one of those, like, because it's such a nuanced community, nuanced art form. Some things can't be they can be explained, but they cannot be understood if you're just not a magician. So I understand from a business point of view why a lot of those decisions were shot down, or a lot of those that, it was like, oh, we're going to take an executive decision on this and not allow it. But yeah, for me, it was like not to be extreme, but like a hypothetical or metaphorical attack on my central nervous system, because yeah, I'm just, at conventions, I don't hang out with the big names. I hang out with everyone, meet people like me, just the normal people. Like, I'm just a part of the community. So I know what I was going to do. I don't know. I knew how it felt like. I'm trying to think. I'm sure there's a film where there's like one person's like working for the big scary overlord, but they know that their family out on Tatooine is going to be fucked up or whatever, And so, yeah, like it was
Ass blasters.
Yeah. It's like a lot of it to just do with like personal integrity. I don't know, man. You know what it's like.
Yeah. Forget. I'm the only one of the three of us that didn't get paid to work for Illusionist. My conscience is clean.
That's true. I did get some Brad bucks thrown my way. Some bratty daddy dollars.
Oh, he totally fattened me up for a few years. Now look at me, skinny, starving artist.
With his own swimming pool.
Yeah, dude, with LED lights. You don't only have a swimming pool. You have like a fucking pool. Fuck, lights.
Oh, dude, I gotta show it off. Gotta show this motherfucker up. Yeah, dude, look at this. I mean, to Americans, they're like, "Oh, that garden's so small," but the part of the country that I'm in, this is like a king's garden.
Yeah, dude, you're the fucking one-eyed, the one-eyed man in the land of the blind. That's you, dude.
I'm lucky. Like I said, I'm lucky. I bought the cheapest house on the street, renovated it by hand myself with Kaylee while she was pregnant, and then the garden was done by my best friend, who owns a landscaping company. So I got like legit, and I do work for him. He does work for me in certain areas. So I wouldn't have been buying this garden debt free if
Still,
if I was
there
a
in your
normal
pool,
person.
just fucking your neighbors are peering through like, wow, what a fucking asshole. Look at this guy in his fucking pool.
Do you know the funniest thing about this, right? You probably won't believe me. The reason my house is so nice and I have a nice garden is because I fucking hate money. I'll explain to you what I mean. So I don't like going on holiday. I don't like flash cars. I fucking hate buying clothes. I really don't like new things. I don't like spending money. I like living in my own little bubble in my own little house. So my thing is get the house cleared and live debt free, because then I don't have to care about earning any money. Don't have to care about going on holiday. Don't have to care about buying new things. As long as once I'm set up, that's it. Put off the gas. Done for life.
Yeah, so you're gonna be just a hermit.
Yeah. Because I could try and become a multimillionaire or whatever, but then you'd be constantly trying to chase that or pay off your line of credit that you would have on certain things. Fuck that completely. Why would I want to be rich when I don't give a shit? The only thing I would be interested in is time. So for me, just getting the house sorted as quickly as possible, debt free, means I can just have time.
Okay.
I'm not going on holiday. I hate holidays as well.
Same, dude. I'm telling you, that process of fucking TSA and fucking dealing with some guy going, oh, well, you have a little bit of too much cologne here, mate. Oh, I didn't know I could take over an entire fucking airplane with my 3.4 ounces of Club de Nuit Intense Man. You fucking idiot. Fuck. God. Just gets me riled up. What an absolute fucking whopper. Speaking of getting riled up,
you have to go, Craig.
I know. I've kind of I've got a couple of minutes, but then I'm going to have to fuck off and leave you two beautiful people.
Well, I'm going to go as well. I need to piss.
In the pool?
In the garden, probably.
Are you a
filter at the bottom of your garden, man? You need a toilet, else you're going to have to keep going up to the house.
I know. Fuck that. I'm just going to. I'm going to have to.
Or you're not a pool pisser?
No, I don't piss the pool. However, Thomas is, but my kid, he was there and he said, Dad, I need a pee. So I was like, don't piss in the pool. So he gets out of the pool and then pisses into it.
That kid
Because
is a legend.
full blown naked as well. Because in his head, I meant don't piss while you're in the pool. Such a retarded genius thing to do.
Let me
You
tell
can,
you, that would have been. He would have just gotten a nice clothesline, a nice Bradshaw clothesline from
I
hell.
wasn't even angry because I was like, oh, he read the assignment.
Yeah, that's true. But then if you just fucking laid that pool out, you paid for it, and then you have your kid pissing in it, and then now he's trained. He's like, no, not. I could just do the same thing I did last time, right? No. You're getting a big boot right to the face, dude. And what? Your kid's almost my height now, right?
Yeah,
Yes,
he's
4 foot 3.
how old is Thomas now?
5.
Wow, man, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now, what would you feel if he's like, Daddy, look? How would you feel?
I like it. I'm not interested in him becoming a magician. If he wants to get into magic, then cool. And he kind of likes it, but I really want him to just have the freedom to do. My mum always allowed me to. She knew I was never going to do a normal job, like 9-to-5 job. So she always allowed me to explore. If I said I was going to become a full-time professional underwater basket weaver, she would have been there at the front with a fucking sign, being like, "Come on, babe, you can do it." Woo! And we had no money. She could never financially support me in any endeavors that I was interested in, realistically, but she was a professional woman. She had a master's in psychology. She wrote law for the government for mental health. She was on TV with it. She was like very high up, but she knew that that will win for me. So I'm going to do the same thing for him. Whatever he says he's interested in, as long as it's within any reason, but as long as it's not like, "Hey, Dad, I want to become a professional drug dealer." I'd be like, well, maybe become a pharmacist. But I'm going to do the same with him. So I'm not pushing anything on him.
I took that approach. You can do anything you want to. If you want to do magic, I'll support you. I'll help you. I'll help you in any way that I can. Fast forward 14 fucking years, and you've got a kid that's fucking walking out on stages doing thimble manipulation into a fucking top hat on a stick. Okay. It's a fucking cry for help.
I was gonna say,
walking
now
out on stage doing thimble manipulation to rave. And Sarah's in the other room, and she said, "That's your fucking fault."
that is. Just wait till he has a
I think
fucking
that's
sucker
gangster.
punch tattooed here when he gets his sucker punch tattoo.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. That's funny.
Is that the climax to a trick, by the way, that you make the
Oh
fucking...
yeah, it's this. I've had this way before I was working with Murphys. I just thought it was a really cool chip, and
Mhm.
I there are a couple of tricks I do with these and this, but yeah, I just thought it was a really cool trick. Unfortunately, Murphys went and changed the fucking design, motherfuckers. So now
I changed the design.
you
Oh,
fucking twat.
Had to be done. Had to be done.
I know it did because of how the set works, but still twat.
can't wait for those units to be here. So then now, that's what I was telling Craig, by the way, that knowing the 4th floor, I'm going to be receiving those units. And then in about 17 months for fucking Sucker Punch Revolutions. You fuck.
They'll be there. No, I understand the system of Murphys now, so you're gonna be getting you'll have them before day 1.
Ooh. And then day 1 is
And
when?
I think day 1 is coming soon. I think
Yeah.
they get this shit out quick. I can't
Yeah.
think that there's anything left to do. Now you've done the trailer, tutorial's done, trailer's done. When I was at Sacramento filming the fucking product, they were all shrink wrapped on the shelves.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is it here. It's ready to go. This is shrink wrapped, ready.
Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
What a fucking nice little bit of packaging there. And is
I
that
hate
the,
it. I fucking hate it. I think it's dog shit. And I designed it to an extent. I was given this drawn artwork,
I think it's sick.
and then I added all the details and the little hand sketched writing and arrows, and I think it's fucking terrible, to be honest with packaging. But when you don't take the packaging out with you, you get the effect out with you. So
You'd be
you can't
fucking
care too much
surprised.
about it. You want it?
I've
Do you want
seen
does have good packaging?
Uh-huh.
Big out deck.
That is sick.
Is that the last bit? Is that the final frontier with you and Murphy's? The last thing that you
No, I
Or
think we
there's
have
still a couple.
fuel after that.
Fuel as
Okay.
well. Have you seen the artwork for the course? You probably designed it. I did quite like, even though it's in their little white boxes, I fucking love the artwork on the front of Fuel.
I think Adrian Venezuela the artwork for that potentially. EV.
It's
Is
very
he the
good.
melted sort of, don't say anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything, but yes, it is.
Okay. The problem is all of Murphy's packaging is absolute dog shit, and it has nothing to do with Magic. It's Apple, literally Apple style.
Yeah, but I mean,
For a
it's,
Magic company.
people love shelf shit. People love putting things on their little shelf, and even if they're not going to do the trick, that trick is probably going to go on so many fucking virgin shelves, dude. Just there looking.
Yeah,
like
but
a
dude, wouldn't
fucking-
you rather have something that looks cool?
I used
And
to love
stylish
the
on
look
your
of all of the printed decks I had out. It was like Quantum deck, boom, it looks like this. Cube 52 looks like this. Infinity deck looks like this. Boom, 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 boom. And now it's all little white boxes.
It's honestly such a fucking shit move. And yeah, don't like you look at it like that goes on the shelf. Oh look, 2 different products. What the fuck? 2 different. Yeah, fuck.
Ooh, you keep teasing that gaff deck, dude. You keep just fucking barely like fucking just going, oh look. Oh. Teasing me, dude. I haven't even fucking seen I've only
still
seen one
say,
trick.
dude, when I went to Sacramento and I filmed the Gaff Deck, Sucker Punch, Credit Crunch, and Fuel, I have never been so fucking tired in my life. I was just Penguin, Comeback Penguin, all are forgiven. Like, it was hard fucking grind. Like, I remember on the Friday and the Saturday, we finished and got home at like 2 a.m. And I was in the studio at 9 filming tutorials. Like, I was wrecked.
Yeah, it's just
It's Sacramento, dude. It's that air, that California air.
I almost missed my flight because we had so much to do. I was filming right up until we should have left 2 hours before, but we were still filming content. And George was like, if we don't get you to the flight now, we're going to miss it. And we were literally driving there. And I was supposed to get there 2 hours beforehand. I was like there 40 minutes beforehand. It was boarding in like 10 minutes and I hadn't even checked in or gone through TSA.
fuck that.
They're having you record stuff on the Uber to the airport.
No, George, no, shit, yes. So George drove me to the airport and he's like,
He
"Oh,
actually did. He actually did. He actually
Yeah.
did.
George drove me to the airport and he's like, oh, they've asked us to get some content of how you felt the trip went. I'm like, dude, we're going to miss the train, the plane. Don't worry about it. We'll film it on the way. So on the 40-minute drive over to the airport, it's George interviewing me after a week of not sleeping at all about how I felt the trip went. Right.
You're vibrating out of anger. That's fucking great. I love that. They're just squeezing every last bit of petty juice that they have from you. They're just fucking. Did you gag, Lloyd?
No, I was just coughing.
You heard petty juice, and then you're fucking yakking all over the place.
Jelly
Oh.
poos.
Jelly.
Jelly poos. Gotta be a jelly poos on
The
me.
question before I go: do you have any idea? You were talking about this coming out through the 4th floor, that coming out through the 4th floor. Do you have any idea? Have you yet? I know you don't rush these things, Lloyd, but do you have any idea of a potential first release through the 4th floor that's not a Lloyd Bronze product that you're producing for somebody else?
Yes. I know. I don't know when it's coming. Hold on. Maybe I can show the packaging a little bit. This might be.
Ooh, that's sexy.
That's too much. That's too much.
I like how you went like you did this. You went, oh no, that's too much. Oh, little.
Oh, look at that! It's red and black.
It's so sexy. The packaging is so fucking good.
Do we know who it is yet? I mean, you do. Do we get to know?
Yeah.
Who?
Not yet. I'll probably have something more concrete for next episode though.
Well, that'd be good.
Well, hopefully
Right.
next episode, or what are we?
Have you had one last question before that? Let me just on this subject. Have you had lots of submissions for both people wanting to produce stuff through the 4th floor, but also people wanting to be certified?
Yes, but nothing's been certified yet.
Wow, wow, that's incredible.
stringent?
Stringent.
But I was gonna say next episode, are we not getting a little bit more info about your thing, Craig?
Yes, we are going to. Well, we've run out of time now, but I think that next episode we start it with a convention special, and we talk about
Yes.
everything because we've
Yeah, we have 6 weeks to go.
Yeah, I know. So let's just start fucking telling people what what the best convention in Magic. Fuck you, Andy Gladwin. Fuck you and your Adonis.
It's going to be the worst convention. now.
Fucking. It's
Oh, I'm
going to
lecturing,
be-
by the way, on the 9th of July.
Oh, I'm going.
Fuck
It's
off.
the 13th of July, but I'm going.
No, there's another one.
Oh.
In wait, let me just double check what it is. 9th of July in Wessex.
Oh, cool.
Wessex Magic Club. In Wessex, what's the address? The address is 139 to 141 Bournemouth Road, Pool, BH14 9HT.
Well, if we're talking about lecturing next week, I'm lecturing on the 7th of July in Northampton. David Penn's Northampton Club.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, which is going to be fucking incredible. So I'm lecturing there. That's going to be amazing. And then on the 9th of July, when you're lecturing, I'm going to be doing my next Alakazam Academy. I'm heading down to Ashford and I'm doing an Alakazam Academy on card magic, impromptu card magic.
Oh wow, that's great.
Ooh.
That's
Mm.
great.
You guys are so busy, man. I'm just out here frantically masturbating, and you're doing lectures and fucking wow, dude. I'm just out here like this. Oh,
You need to go and do a warm up lecture at your local magic club for sure, because you're going to be lecturing at the Magic Podcast Convention.
We are going to get you over there. I'm working very hard on getting you there. You're going to be there, Big Cake. We can't have a Magic Podcast convention without the third testicle. We can't have
that's
a Magic podcast without the nub. Is it a nubble? What's the when you've got a third?
Nubbin. Nubbin.
You're our
I
little
think it's-
nubbin. We can't have a convention
We're
about
our little
Magic
chicken
podcast
wing.
without our little nubbin.
I'm the ball tumor. I'm the tumor in your testicle. That's what I am, dude. You guys already had the 2 balls fully fledged, and then I come in. I'm like, hey, you're 37. You got a third ball here. You got to go to fucking Leeds Hospital and have it taken out.
Well, we're gonna get you there. We haven't talked about Peter Nardi's testicles for ages.
No,
Yeah, I love those. I love those shiny plums.
No,
I'm
yeah.
willing to bet
The
they're
magical love
very,
plums.
very soft, supple.
I think they are. I mean, Peter Nardi though, he looks like a godfather, doesn't he? He looks like the man that you wouldn't want to fuck with. Like
He
he's
looks like
just,
the Ray Winston of magic.
yeah, he's just like you would not want to fuck with that guy. He's one fucking Elmsley count away from stabbing you in the dick. Like he, yeah.
I don't think Peter Nardi's capable of making love. I only think he fucks.
Oh yeah, yeah, 100%. He fucking grunts as well when he does it.
This
Oh,
bits
now
of fucking-
that'd be one. That'd be one. There's a wrestling match for you. Fucking Hell in a Cell, Andy Gladwin versus Peter Nardi, and the winner gets
Gets
Joshua J.
fucked.
Gets Joshua J from the cup chair. So
Oh,
who's
yeah.
it?
Cadmus.
You know, Peter Nardi's such a gangster. He doesn't take his boxers down. He just pops his dick through the hole every time. When he thumps, he's just like, ugh. You know what I mean?
I
Because he
think he just
can.
rips it. He rips it right through his fucking pants. He makes his own hole.
Oh yeah, balls dangling either side, and then just
and then-
straight pound.
And then the hole heals. The hole is just it just fucking mends itself.
And when he finishes, he just walks out the room. Balls.
Yeah.
You know.
There's a singer named Luis Miguel that what he would do after he would have intercourse with you is that he would give you like a departing basket full of like cake and roses and chocolate. So I feel like he would do that. Peter Nardi would just leave you a bouquet of Alakazam effects. Just to fucking like, here, thank you
This
for
next
having
one's called
intercourse.
playlist. Enjoy
Yeah.
it, motherfucker.
Yeah. This fucking what a legend. Fucking Nardi. Party Nardi.
He fucks you with a fucking rose in his teeth, but it's not for you. It's for him to look at himself like the Godfather. Dick.
I can't wait
boy
for him to send you a
boxes.
DM. For him to send you a DM where he goes, "Hey man, thank you for the kind words, guys. But that pipsqueak, not a fan."
We send that.
No, I can't wait for Nardi to send you that. Because Gladwin sent you last time calling me a fucking dweeb. Now Nardi's gonna send you a message saying, "Oh, that everything was great apart from that pipsqueak."
Oh, no,
That's you.
Unlike Andy Gladwin, Peter Nardi knows who you are. I mean,
yeah.
He's the trickster of Alakazam, so he'll know who you are.
Yeah.
No, I think he forgot about me already. Wouldn't that be great? That's such a power move on Nardi. If he's like, "Oh, pig cake, who's that?" Oh, God, he could end my life with like just one sentence. Pig cake, what? Who's that? Oh yeah, he did put out a trick. Yeah, I forgot about it. Oh, what a fucking.
I'll share this Peter Nardi story before I leave, and this is true. And he's done this more than once, but this is a perfect example. So he was at a convention, and somebody showed him a trick, and Peter was like, "I love that trick. I really love it. We want to release it. Can I buy the rights for it?" Just throwing around his fucking money. Can I buy the rights to it? And this guy turned around and said, "No, because you bought the rights 20 years ago." And he bought this trick 20 years ago, paid money for it. Like at the time, boom, here's the money. I just completely forgot that he got the trick. Completely forgot he got the rights to the trick.
See, that's big dick energy right there.
It really is.
That guy who sold it was probably waiting as well. I wonder if they're ever going to release this. I'm so excited. I know it takes a while, but
Well, you had to have shown it to him, like just as like, "Hey, here's a trick. Oh, you like it? Well, that's funny because you already bought it." Fuck. And he bought it like when the economy was different, which makes it worse because it's like, fucking he bought it for 10 quid 20 years ago. Fuck. What a legend, man. We should call this Peter Nardi's testicle. That's the name of the episode.
Peter Nardi's love story, yes. And the fruit of his giant love spuds. Good old H.
giant fucking shiny plums.
Is that the show, guys? That seems like a good time as ever to fucking end it.
We need to call it a day now. I think
I need to go and piss. I'm gonna piss.
I have considered for the last hour just pissing right here where I'm sitting. I've genuinely considered it. I'm like, you know what? What's the worst? What's the worst that could happen? I'm just fuck.
Make Sarah clean it.
Yeah, exactly. Get that fucking bitch to clean. One, I'm safe.
Full sun on that one.
Yeah, we will be back next week with a convention special. We just need to make sure that Pig Cake wakes up at 2:00. When you finish the podcast, dude, do you go back to sleep for a few hours?
Yeah. There was one time that I was kind of still hungover from the day before because I think we watched a soccer game, and I'm just there like, yeah, I think last week maybe. This next week, bro, you guys are gonna catch me in a fucking bad time because it's 4th of July weekend here. I'm gonna be probably recovering just from the.
I think we should do the stream drunk. The podcast drunk. Just stay up.
Dude, please do the podcast drunk. Please, just stay drunk. It's all right, motherfuckers. Dude,
I would definitely drop some slurs if I'm hammered. Let me just tell you.
We can mute them.
That sounds like a Michael problem, not an us problem. He's the one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Through it all and edit that shit out.
So next week I might just keep the party going and just keep the fucking energy up.
That's what we want. We want a hammered Pig Cake next week. Let us know if you want to see Pig Cake drunk next week. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify, all the podcasting platforms. We will be back in 2 weeks' time. Lloyd, you got to wrap it up, man. It's your thing.
Stop fucking kids and have a shit week.
Yeah, what he said. Bye, motherfuckers.
We apologize for disrupting your normal daily schedule. You may now relax, tuck your deck back in, and resume your regular day-to-day life. Remember to subscribe to be notified the moment each new episode goes live every Wednesday. And join our Facebook group to continue the conversation. The link is in the description to this podcast. Thank you for listening to The Magic Podcast.